Hello and welcome to episode 184 of Masters of the Forge. I'm Adam and I'm here with Jason.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
It's more intimate this week. Well, actually, we have at least one interview this week, which is nice. It's going to be an action-packed episode.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the Wars of Faith mission pack, and we're going to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play a mission from that mission pack. We're going to be back to the Orcs and the Thousand Sons this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here upstairs in my office with the Behringer board's power supply is wrapped with packing tape.
Okay.
I'm sure there won't be any heat dissipation issues involved with that.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's all right. Just make sure to throw it out in the snow after you're done.
Okay. It's fine. I should probably turn down the volume on the baby monitor. There we go. So hobby
Perfect.
progress as usual.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little bit of hobby progress here. So I've been not working on 40K.
It happens.
I'm continuing to work on the Cities of Nagash project, and looking at the notes from last time, I felt like it took me a long time to do that painting on those models.
Right.
But apparently, no. Apparently that was apparently I've done all of it since then. So I figured out that the Armies on Parade, the first of 6 Armies on Parade things for the Warhammer store is actually, in fact, painting a Getting Started box.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think normal people would have a hard time doing that, but hey, it's whatever. I put together my own kind of collection of models that might be in a Cities of Sigmar Start Collecting box, since there isn't one.
Right.
So for the Cities of Nagash, I did 10 swordsmen, 10 spearmen, 2 artillery pieces, a wizard, and a commander. I painted those up, and I kind of just put them on for now, just one of the cardboard like battlefield mats, like folded up to its smallest, and I put the lore next to it, what I have so far with the lore next to it. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's so inclined, go to the Clifton Park Warhammer store in New York and vote for the best army there, which just happens to be mine, so that's cool. Just go ahead and go. I'm not saying vote for me. I'm saying vote for the best army, which that's what it is. The next one is a centerpiece model. Paint a centerpiece model. So I'm going to be doing right now I have 30 handgunners that I'm just working on.
Right.
And that's rough. It's rough. I've just got one color on really well. I did the gray dry brush over the black, but really I've only layered on the purple pink, screamer pink so far, which is more of a wine color in my opinion. And that's the lore for the city that I made up, is basically that they dye their uniforms using the sacramental wine and the blood of both healers and murderers, because they're a cult who believes that Nagash will take someone in their time. So if you murder someone or if you heal them, you're acting in a heretical manner.
Wow, that's
and Nagash,
dark, dude.
Nagash actually, this is actual lore. Nagash punishes healers by making them into Nighthaunt, and he turns their hands into scythes.
Oh,
isn't that nice?
Yeah, isn't it? I mean,
it's nice. It's nice. At least I think that's the one.
Wow,
Anyways,
that's messed up, dude.
It is pretty messed up, right? It's pretty great. So I also bought, while I was there, the past 2 times I was there, I bought Nagash for my big conversion project when I do the the war machine. Okay. But I also purchased some of that graveyard terrain because that's what I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put some of that on my board, on my display board.
Oh, the used to be called the Garden of Moor. Was that?
Yeah, it used to be Garden of Moor. I forget what it's called now. It's called something stupid now, but it used to be called the Garden of Moor. Moor was a death god that Nagash ate.
Well, when you're hungry, you gotta.
Well, true. Yeah, and thanks to Tucker has been hooking me up with tons of death bits. Oh, I actually have another bag that he gave me that I need to locate. What did I do with it? Well, anyways, I need to relocate those bits because that's been so helpful getting those bits, and because like I said, there's some of the infantry are undead. I like swap the heads out for skulls, and I actually chop the top of their heads off, and then chop the faces off of regular warriors, so I can put the hats and helmets on the skeletons' heads.
Oh, okay.
And some of the weapon swaps are, skeleton hands. The handgunners, I can't put skeleton hands in place of people hands.
Difficult.
So I'm gonna paint the hands like they're gloves. So I'm gonna paint them black or red so that they look like gloves instead.
That's a good idea.
I'll probably do them red. Actually, so that means I have to go back sorry, not red, but the Screamer pink. I have to go back and redo those. But I think it'll look a lot better than the black because the guns are going to be black.
Yeah.
A little bit of, free thought there. So yeah, that's really all I've been working on. I definitely do want to get to the Tau eventually, but I want to get to the point where I've got the big centerpiece general painted, and then maybe I'll do a Tau model. And but I've been painting orcs. I painted orcs all last year, so I feel like this is definitely a nice project.
Change of pace, dude.
Nice change of pace. Yeah, and I have plenty of 40K models to play with, and a lot of my games played are going to be talking about 40K and stuff. So I don't. I think this is fine. What have you been working on, dude?
So most have been dealing with Magnus. I bought the mini either in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember. I've had it for a bit, and I built it and base coated it. I think I got it in 2019 because I think that was about when I did that. Built it, base coated it, and then I just never did anything with it because I really kind of didn't want to take it ever. I just never wanted to take that, even though it was a good model. It's just like, it doesn't really fit the lore of my army. But right now I'm babysitting Maggie, Morty, and some other fragile minis for Keith while they move, and they move to their new place. And so while I was moving Maggie, Keith's Maggie, the head of the staff broke off, and it had obviously been broken before, and I was able to kind of temporarily fix it with magnets. So if he likes to look at those magnets, then I guess I'll go ahead and paint those for him. But just looking at his Maggie, which is painted really well, I thought maybe it's time I get mine out and start painting on it and really work on it and make it look painted, I guess. It's not just base coated or 3-color minimum. So that's what I'm working on now.
He's looking really good. The wings look really cool.
Yeah,
I think it's fun.
I had it as what's that? The oxide paint, the technical paint. I originally had that as like kind of bluish wings, but I I don't know, I just never was feeling it. A friend of mine did it and looked really great, but it just didn't feel right to me. And so, going green, I think, really gave me better ideas on how to paint this mini. So, yeah.
Well, those hobby hangouts have been nice. We had a game night on Wednesday at John's, and we said we were going to connect the connect that to the hobby hangout, but we forgot. Sorry about that.
Well, I was trying to bounce around and I wasn't able to get in until later, and just like, these guys are busy. I'm not going to bother them. So,
no, it's all good. But the hobby hangouts have been nice.
They have been.
We did some reorganizing on the Discord. So there's a bunch more rooms. That? I don't know, but we'll talk about it now. We reorganized some things around. We've done some giveaways for some of the stuff that Games Workshop has sent us that we're not going to actually work on. Right. So we wanted to do some giveaways for our community. So if you haven't yet, please jump on our Discord, message us or email us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com, and we'll get you an invite to the Discord. Because we want to have you there, and we want to have awesome conversations about fun things, and also anime, I guess.
That does seem to be
moderated. That channel is moderated by our friend Mike, and by moderated I mean spammed.
And we also have a bad movies channel, which our buddy Nick. It's kind of spammed with him as well, not so much moderating.
Nice. It's pretty great. We do have movie nights every once in a while. And we'll have them on there. So be sure to join up for that as well. Super fun. So games played. COVID destroyed a couple weeks worth of gaming there for me. Because we had it. Quinn got it from a kid, and Quinn gave it to Wendy, and Quinn and Wendy gave it to me eventually, and it was just awful. But the cool thing is I'm free and clear for the next few months, so I'm feeling good about that. But this Wednesday I went over to John's house, and we had 2 games of Incursion going. It was John, Curtis. Well, John had his AdMech themed Space Marines. Tucker had his Black Templars, and Curtis had his Salamanders that he was running as Black Templars. Which, his army's gorgeous and fully painted, and my army's fully painted, and Curtis and I had another game. Even though Curtis and I played last, Curtis and Tucker had the exact same army. And Tucker and I play all the time, so we just ended up doing that, and it's fine. Curtis is a great opponent all the time, anyways. We played a mission from Beyond the Veil. Played Dominate the Field. That is one with an objective in each corner, and you get extra points if you score. If you're holding your opponent's holding an objective that your opponent held that turn. So if you steal an objective, you get extra points.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I tried out a secondary objective where you do a psychic action in the middle of the battlefield. And that worked out pretty well for my war boy, getting him some CP or some experience points, which was really nice. But I really keep miscalculating the melee threat of the Redemptor Dreadnought, which is the Primaris Dreadnought. It's just so nasty. It's so nasty, and I always end up charging in way too early, which for orcs you might be okay, but your opponent is always going to have the 2 CP to break in and fight.
Yeah.
So you pick one and then they break in and they pick one. So I fought with my boys that I charged with, and then he broke in and just killed my battle wagon without even thinking about it. So I'm thinking I
Yeah.
might give my battle wagon the 5-up invuln upgrade at some point. Maybe after tonight, I'll have enough scrap points where I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I want him to be a little beefier, or give him the 2+ save. I'm not sure if I can do that or not. I'll have to look it up. But anyways, I want the battle wagon to be a little tougher so he can charge in and mulch things.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I could just not play him stupid. But that sounds
Nah.
like trader talk to me.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways, so that was a fun game with Curtis. So tonight's game, you're going to be playing. You and I are going to be playing. What is it? Martyrs Reborn.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Did you anything other than tonight's game, Jason?
No, but I've been talking with Keith. He's moving into a new place, and it looks like I'm going to be moving into a new place either in April or May.
Nice.
It's actually fairly close to him, so I'll be doing a lot more garage hammer type stuff.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be nice, because right now, currently, for me to get to his place, it's like a 30-minute drive or so.
Yikes, yeah. That's not fun.
And where we're both going to end up moving, I think he'd be living maybe 3 blocks away. So, yeah, I'd actually have someone to game with fairly often.
Cool, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, then I guess it's time to go Beyond the Fringe. So my Beyond the Fringe is Wendy went to Hawaii.
Yeah, I see that on Facebook.
Wendy went to Hawaii with my aunt. My aunt invited her to Hawaii.
That's cool.
I'm like, okay, you do that. And I haven't decided, Jason. You help me decide.
Okay.
When she comes home, would it be better for the house to be cleaner than she left it or messier than she left it? Is it better that she feels needed, or is it better that she doesn't come home to garbage, to trash? Because it's currently cleaner. But I feel like that's actually not the right call. Erin says try to make it the same, so I should mess it up a little bit before she gets here.
I don't know.
It's a tough one, right? It's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm not going to go into what would happen to me in my former relationship if I did anything at all. So,
right
hashtag no comment.
Yeah, that's fine. So anyways, Quinn and I have been living the bachelor life. It's been pretty cool. We've been going swimming, hanging out, eating mac and cheese.
That. Y'all were at the YMCA, the Y earlier?
Yeah, we were at the Y. Yeah. We've been a few times. I was afraid he was going to be afraid of the water, because over the summer, he really wasn't too happy with the pool.
Right.
In our backyard.
Uh-huh.
And we haven't been to swim lessons in a couple of years.
Right.
Not since pandemic, right? So, but he's taken to it like real well. So
good.
So it's nice. What about you, dude?
So last time we talked, we were talking about the Fantasy Hike Road to Mordor thing.
Uh-huh.
Because I've been doing the walking to basically cut stress and make myself less stressed, and hopefully cut down on the spontaneous profanity that just happens to spout from me at any given time.
Right.
And so, that was on 22 days ago. So currently I've walked over 104 miles since then.
Uh-huh.
Trying to do about an average of 5 a day or so. It's underneath 5 right now, but it'll be at 5 probably next week. I've currently in the Barrows, and I've passed Old Tom's house. So it's a little bit of a different app than the Google Play app, but it's kind of cool. I kind of enjoy it. It's been nice to go do those walks. So I guess my Beyond the Fringe is getting out of my office and trying to be healthy and blah, 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 blah. Right?
Yeah, that's a fun motivational tool. Those are really cool motivational tools. I like it.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to actually go back and read the books,
Yeah.
reread them, etc. But yeah, that's kind of my Beyond the Fringe. I mean, I've that and I'm doing that other app, and I think I've almost walked around Ireland in the last 22 days.
Fantastic, dude.
Like I've got
Nice.
20 more miles, I think, until I'm done with that challenge.
Is that the
The
you'll
Conqueror.
remember.
The Conqueror.
And I would walk 500
Oh yeah,
miles.
the Proclaimers.
And I would walk 500 more. Yeah, you should see if you can do that song.
Oh God, no. I'm speaking of that. You know, we talked with was T-Hom, yeah, that's right, about going through and what was it, mashup of Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You," Depeche Mode's "Personal Jesus," and Limp Bizkit's "Break Stuff." And I think you challenged me to go through and do a mashup of those three. And
Yeah.
and the sad part of my brain is that I start, you give me those ideas, and while I'm on my walks, my brain starts like chugging through the idea of like, we could go through and remove the vocals from this. We could go through and do this. So if I end up doing this, I'm blaming you. So yeah,
that brings me joy.
I know I haven't started working on it yet, but I know the techniques to do it. And I'm following this one guy on Instagram that that does those videos or those sorts of mashups, and I'm afraid I'm going to end up doing that just as a
mashups are fun.
Yeah,
I love mashups.
Yeah,
like there are way too many mashups with breaks the song "Break Stuff." Way too many. There are way too many, and they're all, I don't know. I wouldn't call it good, but they're all interesting.
Well, I've got some ideas on how to, change or at least morph Whitney into whatever that idiot's name is.
Fair.
Fred Durst. There we go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
For the Astropathic Communique, we have some reports from our friends who've been working on the Eldritch Omens models. Curtis has built and painted the entire Eldar side of it.
Nice.
And it looks gorgeous. It really looks gorgeous. You guys need to go to our Twitter or in our Discord. I've posted links to his work. And he plays the Lugganoth.
Yeah, the orange and white ones.
Yeah, the Craft World Lugganoth orange and white scheme. And they're the good guy Eldar, by the way, just to let you know. If you look it up, they're actually like the least trash of the Eldar. They're pretty good. He now has over 20 jet bikes.
Yeah, he had a lot of them whenever I was still living up in upstate.
Yeah, he has. Well, the old Codex was pretty jet bike.
Yeah, I remember.
Jet bike focused, but he now has 3 more, and they look pretty sweet. But it's really that Autarch that he did that is so amazing. It's really, really good. Kendrick and Dave took the Chaos stuff. Kendrick's working on Iron Warriors, oddly enough, so I gave him the Warpsmith and the Mauler Fiend. And Dave is working on Alpha Legion, so I gave him the Chosen. Kendrick says that they both did a pro-con list. So Kendrick says the pros of the Warpsmith are that that it has a very chaos look, and it's not just the axe. Like the whole model looks chaosy. The tentacles are a lot nicer than before, with a lot more detail. And the update on the pauldrons is really cool.
Right.
And it's great to build in sub-assemblies. So you can
that's nice to know.
Yeah, you can glue all the tentacles onto the backpack and keep that whole subsection separate.
Oh, that's actually really good.
I assume you'd want to like kind of sticky tack the backpack to the model as you're putting the tentacles on, so you can see where they go as
Right.
far as where you pose the arm. But that is if you choose to like do the arm pose differently from what they
Oh
want you
yeah.
to do it. He said the cons are that he found the cape to be a little boring, and it makes him have a really strange sized base. I think that Brian was also having a little bit of a brain lock over the base size because it's an oval base.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a small bike base basically, I think.
Interesting.
Um,
Oh, or the size of what's that Admech Skitarii? Like the Skitarii with the long gun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
like that size base. He also was hoping to see that it had the bolt pistol option, but it doesn't. It's gone. I looked at the
Okay.
rules; they don't have a bolt pistol option on there anymore.
Hmm. Okay.
Also, he feels like the tentacles are a little oddly put together, even though they look cool. He feels like they're pretty fragile. Just to keep, you might want to have a little give when you put
Yeah.
it in foam. Like, just give it a lot of leeway in the foam when
Got
you
it.
put it in foam. For the
Well,
what's up?
that the what was it? The Morty that I'm babysitting for Keith, as I was driving it, I had it in my car, and I was actually like, I had Maggie in the seat next to me because Maggie didn't
Mm-hmm.
have foam, and so I was holding like Maggie down, but Morty was in the
That
in foam.
none of this sounds good.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't. It makes it even better, right? So Morty's in foam down on the floorboard because that's where he
Yeah,
belongs.
while you hold Maggie down.
That's right. What am I talking about? Are they dogs? Are they cats? Are they human beings? Who knows?
Who could
Um,
say?
yeah, it's difficult to say. But the what is it? The chains that are hanging off of Morty. Wow, this does get bad. I could see them like shaking, and I kept thinking, if this thing breaks just because I'm driving it across town, I'm going to lose my mind.
Uh-huh.
So
Fair,
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
So, The Chosen.
Oh, that's a funny thing that Dave put immediately.
Dave's number one is that it has two dope ass chain axes, and that's fair.
Yeah, I'm not editing that.
No, no. Well, also when you have an axe,
Uh huh.
the hand is probably super easy to swap out for a different weapon if you really wanted to.
Ooh.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, well, I guess it's easy to chop off hands anyways, but
Yeah.
if you wanted to keep the hand, you could probably swap it out for something. Has multiple options for loadouts, shooty or choppy.
Ooh.
2 combi weapon options, Melta, Plasma, and Flamer.
Two
So
or three.
that sounds like 3, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Loads of power weapons with unique style. Icon for each Chaos God. Awesome cloaks and trophy racks. In the trophy racks and stuff I saw in there, they are interchangeable. Like you can, there's lots of options to swap stuff around and make each one unique.
That's nice. That's actually really
is.
nice. It's a nice multi-part model. Yeah.
Yeah, and like even though there are less options on the sprue than there are on the data sheet,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to be able to swap some things around and make it look cool and different.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Dave said, there's lots of platform. It's a platform for lots of different conversions.
Yeah.
You can even use other Cult Marines or Age of Sigmar minis to bash it together for different marked chosen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which sounds really nice. And looking at the data sheet, it does look like they still have all the options they did before. I don't know if that's just them reprinting the options they have now. And like I don't think it's I'm not sure if it's an indication of what the Chosen will be able to do when a new codex comes out.
Right.
It's hard to say.
Well, what is it? Currently, Chosen have 1 wound. So
yeah, and they have only 1 wound in that Eldritch Omens rule book. But
Rough.
again, I really just think they're just copied from the old one.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is actually what the data sheet is going to look like in the new
Well,
codex.
I hope so, because ouch.
Yeah. The cons are that the bear heads look like they're the guy from the Scream painting with worse teeth. That's pretty great. I should have had him record this.
Yeah.
The body poses are a bit static, which is par for the course with the new models.
Right,
You're kind of trading high detail for less posability. Aside from the sergeant, the unit just looks like the new CSM kit with slightly less trim.
Okay.
And overall, they should be simple to paint up and look nice on the table. And he's a good painter, and he's gonna have him painted up for us. We're not gonna hold Kendrick to the same like the same requirement, or I'm not calling it a requirement, but the same expectation, because his wife is going to be going into labor anytime now. So
oh yeah, no, then definitely not.
Definitely not. Not everybody's like me, and they're like, oh, the baby is asleep, I should be painting. They say when the baby's sleeping, you should sleep, but that sounds like heresy to me. So, from my personal perspective, I think the big summary is that Eldritch Omens may not have been a loss leader. It's certainly more expensive than a lot of the people in the Warhammer community would like.
Right.
But they're not cheapo push fit models. They are the full models. So to expect a Indomitus price for this kit is not realistic.
Right.
I think the big mistake is the Mauler Fiend. Maybe I wouldn't call it a mistake. Maybe Games Workshop doesn't want to sell thousands and thousands and thousands of these. Maybe they have a finite amount they want to sell.
Probably.
I feel like sometimes they make sure that only certain people will buy it, and that kind of makes sense to me. Yeah,
because I know in the Thousand Suns codex that the Mauler Fiend is not. I mean, it's in there. Yeah, but it's not like the be all end all. You know,
yeah, I mean, I would like one, and I'm sure Kendrick is happy to have one for his Iron Warriors, but not every Chaos player is going to want a Mauler Fiend, and that's fine.
Like, I have one, and it's built and primed. Well, it's built and base coated. All I need to do is detail work on it, but I'm not in any big hurry to put it into my list because it doesn't really.
Right, but if you're a big matched play person, you're not going to be buying up all these kits.
That's right.
Which saves it for the people who actually want it, and you know what? That's cool.
Yep, that is.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with an interview with our new friend, Tony. He's in the greatest of Britons, and he's got an event called the Crucible of War coming up that you guys are going to want to hear about. Whether you live in England or not, he has some great insight on running narrative events. We hope to have him on again soon, actually. So we're going to take a quick break. And after that interview, we're going to start talking about the Wars of Faith mission pack, and then we're going to play our game.
Hey Archons, does 9th edition have you feeling like the Slith party bus just doesn't have enough party for you? Well, if you want to put a little shock back into your shock brow, you need the Slith Party On! That's right, Archons. For 736 points, you can take 3 Archons, 12 Slith, and a Tantalus. It's the Slith Party On! Now, I know what you're thinking. Couldn't I take Drazar, 15 Incubi, and a Tantalus, a.k.a. the Incubi Murder Boat, for 51 less points? Sure, you could, but it wouldn't be the Slith Party On! But is it legal? Oh, yeah! Is it awesome? Oh, yeah! Is it any good on the table? No! It's the all-new Slith Party On. Sort of awesome. Party On! Really hilarious. Party On! It's the Slith Party On!
Come here, right, get the ball. Aw, come on, Max, get the ball. Mom, Max won't get the ball. He's lazy.
I think I know why your Zote is being lazy, Jenny.
Why, Mom?
Because you forgot to feed him Zotabix today.
Oh, no.
Oh yes, Zotabix contains all the nutrients and random animal parts a growing Zote craves. It not only provides our Zote with the energy it needs to play with you and protect our home, but it also keeps its chitinous shell fresh and shiny.
Oh boy, I'd better feed Max his Zotabix.
Yes, you had.
Zotabix is made in part from grade
Max,
A
time for
Astra
dinner.
Militarum post-engagement byproduct and is infused with 112 essential vitamins
No,
and
Max,
minerals
down.
harvested from your Zote's natural habitat, the finest desert depths.
Ah!
Zotabix is available in any shopping center on worlds where Zotes are allowed or where the Imperium's inexorable influence has not yet reached.
Welcome back. So, as promised, we're here with Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Tony, we're bringing you on because you posted something in the Independent Characters forums about a narrative event that you're running in England, and we really wanted to hear about it for a few reasons. First of all, obviously, we want to help promote any kind of narrative event that people are running.
Yeah.
It's super cool that you're doing that. But also, we want to hear about the thought process you went through for putting the rules for the event together and how the event works. Now, from the Sons of Heresy, they used to talk about some of the heresy narrative events that went on over across the pond, but this is a regular 40K one, right?
It is, yes, and it is one of far and few between, at least certainly here in the UK.
Well, same with the US. You have to go to a big event to get a narrative, like a big tournament or I guess a convention to get a narrative event that's we're going alongside the big one. And even things like Adepticon, the 40K friendly is not a narrative themed event. It's just a friendly event with a funny narrative that goes along with it. It's still matched play. The AOS side is doing a Path to Glory narrative event, which is cool. I was really tempted, but I wanted to play with my close friends. So anyways, let's start by saying where it is and when it is, and then we'll also close out with when it is, where it is. So when is it and where is it?
So it is on April 30th here in the UK, over in Belper, it's called as an area, which is it's actually close to the motherland because it's about half an hour away from Nottingham.
Oh.
North or south
East.
of Nottingham? East of Nottingham? Okay.
But it's at a venue called Tabletop Events. So if you were to search or Google that, then you would find them.
So if someone were in London, would they take the train in Nottingham and then Uber east, or would they just drive?
There is actually a train station like a 2-minute walk from the venue, which I think you might end up getting a connecting train from Nottingham. So if you were in London to Nottingham, probably done 10 minutes on a connecting train, and you'd end up in Belper.
Well, that's fun. So is it 1 day event?
Is so this is the first time that I'm running what I'm calling the Crucible of War. Mm-hmm. So I hope that obviously if it goes well, I'll run more of them in the future, and I can sort of expand on concepts and things such as 1 to 2 day events and so on.
Yeah, I mean, if you do plan on doing more, people that return should definitely get some kind of special ability for their army or something like that as a reward, as a treat.
Well, yeah,
obviously.
I mean, one thing we were thinking about certainly is eventually we can experiment with the ideas of running it as an actual Crusade event, and obviously in that instance you could have people turning up with returning Crusades, from
absolutely.
Yeah. But at this moment in time, we're not running as a Crusade event, but we are going to be looking at using some missions from the Crusade mission packs.
Right. That makes sense. Start people off simple. So Um, you're running Crusade missions. That was going to be one of my questions. And are they handpicked, or are people going to run asynchronously with each other? So like are the missions, I remember the Sons of Heresy, they did missions by table. Some narrative events are like, this is a narrative table and it has a narrative mission. I think that was also what we did at Astronomicon, that each table was themed and therefore had a themed mission to go along with it. How are you doing it?
We are essentially using a similar model in that sense.
Uh-huh.
So the idea is that we're sort of capped at like a 30-player event. So in theory, that's going to be 15 tables, sort of tops. And the idea is that all 15 tables will have a specific scenario, terrain setup, and like theatre of war assigned to it, and that stays the same all day. So there'd be like up to these 15 missions in play at the event. And then players, cool. So then players will just play on 3 different tables throughout the day without returning to any given table themselves.
That's important.
Yes. Yeah,
that's important. I love that. I think that's a really good way of doing a narrative event. Now, obviously everybody has their own idea of what a narrative event should be. There are a few out there who rely on the event organizer to be a GM and do a very specific story for the event. Is that something that you're doing, or are you leaving it up to the players?
So the hope is it's going to be left up more to the players in theory.
Right. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of what they were doing in the Astronomicon as well. And that's kind of how I would consider doing it. I was playing with the idea of like having a theme or like kind of a connecting story, but really I want people to be able to tell their own story. And I think that when you eventually get into Crusade, I think that's kind of the philosophy of Crusade too, is to let players tell their own story. The Heresy, that has a built-in easy story to just that everybody could get mixed up in. In 40K, there's way too many factions.
Yeah, especially when given that about 50% of all factions are Imperial, and about 50% of those are all Space Marines.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like doing themed missions by battlefield, and then allowing players to kind of fold their narrative into the mission that they rolled, that they were that they had chosen for them. Makes a lot of sense, especially once you start getting into Crusade, and that's really how it works. You can come to the table with anybody and play any game with your Crusade army and have a narrative mission, rather than having your narrative prescribed for you. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, if you wanted to do a event like that, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But I definitely see the appeal of running it the way you're running it.
Yeah. So the idea basically is that the players' narratives will be their own stories. Like the whole aim of the day. The whole aim of the day is that we'll have. Sorry, I don't know if you'll be able to edit.
Is there a gremlin? Is there a Gretchen sneaking up behind you with a shiv about to aerate your spleen?
Well, there is a certain young pup who is being a nuisance as being a young pup, and someone else is having to handle it. Unfortunately,
nice. Okay, you've conscripted some kind of assassin to take care of that for you.
We should go through and give names for various things, like children are Nurglings or Gretchen, and pets are like
Squigs.
Yeah.
Squig,
Squigs. Okay.
Ripper.
Squigs.
A Ripper.
Yeah,
has
a ripper.
flown into the area. Well, I think that this sounds like a really fun idea. So I noticed your handle is capital THE Narrative Wargamer. That's pretty that's a pretty presumptuous name screen name you got there, Tony. Do you do anything do you have anything else to promote other than the event that you're running?
So what was that? Sorry, where you see this handle?
Oh, I see it on Discord and on Facebook. So as the Narrative Wargamer, what else do you do? Do you do other do you have a blog or?
Yeah, so so yeah, as the Narrative Wargamer, essentially the main thing that I operate is the Narrative Wargamer podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a 40k podcast, but with a focus on like fun and casual play.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a mix of stuff that we talk about, but essentially the aim is we're just not interested in like the competitive scene or the meta or the typical sort of like codex review upon codex review sort of like content that a lot of podcasts do. And our aim is to promote narrative play through quite often the lot of overlooked content that Games Workshop does, such as all the Warzone supplements. We've been reviewing them for the past 18 months, and as they've come out, and we do episodes on like the campaign systems that are running them, the theaters of war and the legendary missions, the Crusade rules, things which a lot of other shows will just go straight to codex supplements and armies of renown that are going to be meta changing,
right.
which we don't touch on. So I mean, we've got a mix of things in there. We do dedicated episodes on factions on Crusade. We have our fun facts quizzes, which are becoming popular, where we create a like true or false sort of style quiz based on the lore in the Warzone supplements.
Mm-hmm.
So I create like a series of multi-choice options for my guests, and they have to try and tell me which of these facts is true from the book and which are the ones I've made up.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
A fun, interactive, entertaining thing to do. So yeah, I think our that sounds like something our listeners would definitely be interested in checking out. Obviously, there's a lot of congruency between what we cover and what you cover. So I think they'd be interested in hearing a different perspective. Certainly. So folks, check that out. And that's what the podcast is called, the Narrative Wargamer.
Yes, it's the Narrative Wargamer podcast.
Cool. All right, great. Yeah, folks, you should definitely check that out.
Yeah, I just subscribed.
You just nice.
Yeah, it's easy.
Awesome.
Did you just release an episode? Good for you.
Yeah. The one that went up on Friday was our coverage of Flashpoint Octarius. So the last
today's
6 months.
6th? Okay, sorry. Sorry, if the way I work is I just keep going to work, and if there's students there, then I know it's Monday. And if I've seen students 2 days in a row, then it's like, oh, it must be Wednesday. I guess I need to go to my other. So I don't really pay attention to certain things. Sorry,
right.
Keep going.
Yeah, no, that's great. So yeah, check that out. So is there anything else about your event that you want to talk about? But what should folks bring? Like, what size armies should they prepare? Are there any restrictions on their lists or anything like that?
So this is where the sort of like philosophy of the format is kind of like my own brainchild, really, at this point, because the concept behind it was that I would have loved to go to an event like this, but they didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I've created what I would like to see in the world.
Yeah.
Which is almost
what
the philosophy.
You should do.
Yeah, it's kind of the philosophy I had when creating the podcast. But yeah, so my approach to creating the event was the idea that it could just be a simple turn up and play free games. Kind of like what you would expect out of a more standard GT style event day, a tournament.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about, bookkeeping between games, so things like Crusade. You don't need to, worry about having created like hugely in-depth lore or background, or be going for like painting rubrics or anything like that. It is just turn up, play, go, have fun. But rather than playing your GT missions, where you've got your primaries and your secondaries, and it's the same stuff from the same selection of 8 to 10 missions or whatever that everyone plays. Instead, I want to try and encourage what I play personally as my pick up and play games. So what I typically do with that, when I pick up and play a game with either somebody new, like a game store, or that I've arranged to meet up and have a game with, or even with friends, is I typically suggest we play a Crusade mission. Now, we don't have to play with Crusade armies. It doesn't have to be a Crusade game. But those mission packs, across them now, there's over 100 plus missions that exist in 9th edition, which are all different and don't have any like duplications to them, and you can play them, and they don't have to be played as a Crusade. They're just unique mission scenarios. And then the second part of that is I pair it with a Theatre of War. Again, since the inception of 8th edition, there's been these Theatres of Wars, and there's now, again, probably close to 100 of them or so. I won't be surprised. I haven't counted it myself, but there's a lot of them through White Dwarfs, Warzone supplements.
There's quite a few. I put together like a spreadsheet for Theaters of War, like around the time we covered the last of the Psychic Awakening, and there were quite a few. And we came up with a few of our own, but since then I have been quite lax in tabulating all of it. But there are some really interesting ones in the White Dwarfs, like what was the one where they were like underwater? It was like an underwater. That was a recent one.
Presentia, the Beneath the Mirror Sea.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. I like that one a lot. But anyways, as you were saying, you're pairing them up with a Theater of War.
Yeah, so again, like the way I personally like to play my pickup games is let's play a Crusade mission and play with a Theater of War to represent the environment that we're playing in. Like I recently played a friend of his Tyranid army, so we played on a Devoured World, which meant that we were using Tyranid Wars, like a Tyranid war zone to represent a world that's in the later stages of being biodigested.
Yeah.
And that's from the Pariah book, the Psychic Awakening.
Yeah, those are really cool. I like those. You got a little Tyranid over there. I hear that right now. He's sneaking up on me.
Yeah, he's nibbling away.
But at least this one's not very quiet. It hasn't developed the biodiversity to be silent, which is totally fine. That sounds amazing. What size armies are people bringing?
So this was something that I originally actually reached out to my community. Like we have like a Facebook group for Narrative Wargamer. Obviously, there's also I have Patreons as well, so been communicating with them. And originally, I planned to use points for the game. But
how dare you?
So that's the thing. It was like my original plan was to use points because it's an event and to create this idea of trying to make sure there's that level playing field. But that was just in order to ease people into this idea of a narrative event rather than a match play one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Just
now,
so to answer your question, we are playing with power level.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
It's
excellent.
80 power level, correct?
Yes, it's 80 power level, which is going to be roughly about the equivalent of 1,600 points.
Yeah. No, that's a good number. That's a good round number, 80. I like that. What else? Jason, did you have any questions for
So I was
Tony
looking
about
I'm looking through the mission pack because why not?
We'll do it live as our
research is I'm fairly decent at. Yeah. So I was looking at was it Septios Dry River Valley Theater of War. And for those of you who haven't seen this or looked at it, basically you're battling around a dam, and it looks. I read this and it tells me, "Go blow up the dam." That's the first thing it tells me, but it's more of a, "Hey, this is what happens if you're here, and if this dam bursts,
Or do it
issues
on
could happen."
purpose.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I look at that immediately and go, "Okay, so fire on the dam, cool. All right. Oh wait, we weren't supposed to do that." I'm liking I like the mechanic on it that starting from the second battle round, that you start rolling to see if it's burst yet, and depending on the damage that it has taken, the burst roll changes and the effects change also.
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying that mechanic just looking at it. I also if the dam is not burst by the start of the fourth battle round, it bursts automatically. It's like, yeah,
there we
that's
go.
the way we do it.
That's how we do it.
And I like the mud lake effect. Which do you want to talk about any of this, or are you good with me just babbling through it?
Yeah, so I mean, you've described it pretty well. Basically, the idea is that there's this like off the table dam, and the battle is taking place in like the valley on the dry side of the dam, and some forces from both sides are battling off field, as it were, to determine when it's going to burst. When it does, big flood's going to come through the board, distributing mortal wounds to basically anyone along the center line. And what's the extra fun part about this, though, is that there's a. If I don't know if do you want to just have a little look at how the strategic reserves work for it?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see it.
because
We
that
talk
does
about
explain
we
a little
talk
bit
about
better.
rules on we talk about special rules on here all the time. People are used to hearing it. That sounds fun. Yeah. Does the terrain move d6 inches downstream when the wave hits? Because I feel like that's something you need to add to the.
Well, I think everything should move like D6 inches just because.
All right, we'll let
or
them in.
D12. I don't know. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
Did we lose you?
the squig ate the cables.
Oh no.
Curses.
Yeah, so what does happen is that once the dam has burst, all obstacle terrain on the table is either removed or loses its terrain traits if you're playing on like a sculpted table and you can't remove it. Because basically all that like low level, like, sandbags, barricades, all that sort of stuff that isn't a significant part of the landscape, that has got washed away.
Perfect.
And I see that you have the what was that rule that if you moved over is a dangerous terrain check you have in here? So that if you have a vehicle or monster, you roll a d6, and on a 1, that unit's stuck in the mud and can only remain stationary. Oh, and if it's a Titanic keyword, then it's on a 2 up. I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Oh, that is evil. That is evil. I love it. What
that,
a great mission. If they're all like that, I very much wish I lived in the UK, because I would definitely attend this. I would definitely attend this event without question.
And there's a real fun one, Deadly Storm, where it's basically, it sounds like you're just dueling tornadoes essentially.
Oh, what is it? Are they like endless spells, like a couple of twisters in the middle of the battlefield, moving back and forth?
It looks like they're starting in the corners, and
moving
looks
around.
like Tony's playing with his Tyranid.
That's fine. But that sounds that sounds like a really fun. I never thought to do like funnel clouds dancing around on the battlefield. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's cool.
It's got a really great movement mechanic too.
It moves like a fanatic does in Blood Bowl. That's how it moves.
Oh,
and
okay. So
that's probably what it looks like.
Yeah.
Tony, this sounds like a lot of fun. You should definitely come on again some other time and talk about narrative gaming. I mean, instead, you can moonlight on with the old men anytime you like. And folks should definitely check out their podcast.
Yep.
Terrible upstarts in England. That's fine. That's fine. Drop them your. Just don't unsubscribe to us. Okay, that's very important. You can subscribe to anybody else you want. Just don't unsubscribe to us. That's fine. That's fine. What was the date and location of your event again, Tony?
So it's on the 30th of April at Tabletop Events in Belper. So that's, I'll say, here in the UK, about half an hour's drive away from Nottingham.
Awesome. That rules. Okay. So, one last thing. When I subscribe to this show, which episodes should I subscribe to listen to if you have any crap talking about us? I want to listen to that first.
I don't think there's any. I think there's been...
How dare you? Are we not important enough for you to talk crap about us, Tony? How this interview is over.
Hey, you've been important enough to have some nice things said about you. Like your show has been mentioned by far. Like,
yay! Thank you so much. See, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Saying nice things is okay. Mean things would have been better because we could have had an uncomfortable rivalry or something. But maybe we can drum something up later. Let's table that for now.
We'll come up with some sort of I don't know, lawyer stuff. Like
that's been done. We have to think of something different.
We're creative. We got this. Okay,
yeah.
Let's get it sorted.
Yeah. Okay, Tony. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you'd like to add before you disappear into the fringe?
Not really, other than I suppose I've probably got a coming Ascension Day over here soon because these bugs are getting more and more persistent. So I'm going to have to go deal with this little ripper, I think.
All right, buddy. All right, we'll talk to you later then. Bye.
No problem. Bye.
There we go.
All right, so here's what you got to do. When you're making mashed potatoes, it's not enough just to boil water, put potatoes in, take them out, and mash them. That's not... No. Here's what you do. You take your potatoes, red potatoes. In the Midwest, they might be called new potatoes. I'm not sure. My grandma calls them new potatoes, and she's from Indiana. So you skin them haphazardly. Make sure there's still some skin left. Pull the eyes out, obviously. Cut them into quarters, boil them, take them out, drain them real well. We don't want really any water in there. While that's draining, take half a stick of butter and like 5 cloves of garlic. Get the butter down to a liquid state on your stove. Then mince the garlic, drop the garlic in the butter. Stir, 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 stir. Make sure it doesn't brown too much, the garlic. You just want the aromatics in the butter. In the butter. Then you put 2 sticks of butter in the pan. Let it melt. Then you put in either your Boursin cheese or like 2 blocks of cream cheese. Stir, stir, stir. Melt it down. Stir, stir, stir. Melt it down. About half a pint of heavy cream, stir, 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 melt it down. Then you put in the potatoes, stir, 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 stir. Well, okay, yeah, you should have like mashed the potatoes at that point, but you get the idea. Stir, 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 mash, mash, mash. And then you pull out the spoon, okay? If it comes out as a chunk instead of a whip, more heavy cream. Stir, stir, stir. You want it to be smooth and all that gluten to string out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it to be all chunked up into humps of potato. You want smooth potatoes. And you don't need like a mixer to do that. You just need enough cream. So that is the proper way to make mashed potatoes.
Cooking with Masters of the Forge.
Welcome, Chris. How you doing?
Masters of the kitchen.
No, that's going to be singular. I am not a master of the kitchen. So.
If you guys ever want my curry recipe, I'd be happy to share.
Yes. Does it have real cream or does it use milk or does it use coconut milk?
I will use. I mean, it depends on what I have. I'll use milk if I don't have cream, or half and half.
That's
But
what I like to hear. Okay, that's good. That's what you had my attention. That is good. See, I can't go to most curry places because I'm allergic to coconut. So
Oh,
even though it tastes good, like sometimes I'll go and I'll eat it, but then I'll feel like crap afterwards. So it's yes, send that over because that's what I
will
want to
do.
hear.
It's not very spicy because it's Japanese curry,
Okay.
but
Oh,
it is.
hence
I find it to be very tasty. I
hence the
use a few
dairy.
tricks I learned from my mom.
Uh-huh.
So far as like, well, she's Dutch, so I use some like Dutch Indies seasoning in it and make it even better, in my opinion.
This is
But
why America is so great. We everything. It's not a melting pot. It's a rich smorgasbord, in my opinion. That's
well, in
why
I
this
think it was
case,
a
it's a
jumbo
curry pot.
that's
or
true.
gumbo.
That's true.
Sorry.
Well, Chris, welcome. I wanted to have you on because I saw that your podcast was going to be starting up again soon, and I wanted you to come on and let the folks know what's up with that and where they can find you and stuff. Uh, so, can you quickly talk about the podcast, what you do, where you can find it?
Okay, so yeah, the podcast, same as when I came on last time. It is the Chief Librarian podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I am the Chief Librarian in that podcast.
Uh-huh.
And the show is available on the Frontline Gaming Network still. I
Okay.
took a brief break to move and deal with some stuff over the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to do most of that. I am now moved and I have things in the house and things are set up in the house to the point where I can start recording again. Still working
Awesome.
on some other stuff, still working on finishing my basement, setting up my painting desk and doing all that
Uh-huh.
other stuff, but it is the Chief Librarian podcast, which means I've been reading a lot of books.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been
Yeah.
focusing on for these next few episodes.
That's awesome. So the thing is, we like to promote people who are bringing the lore to people in a fun and oh gosh, there's no delicate way of saying this without gross fashiness involved in the delivery of said content. So we that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on because we like you and we think you're a cool dude and you've got some great content. So what are you reading right now, dude?
Well, I just finished Penitent.
Uh-huh.
So I've been very excited to get into that because through the grapevine you hear certain things, and I was
Mm-hmm.
looking into some 40K mysteries, and some of the biggest 40K mysteries out there have to do with like where did Russ go, where did the Khan go, and
Mm-hmm.
where did some of these other like missing key characters from the Horus Heresy, because I'm addicted to the Horus Heresy. I love the Horus
Yeah.
Heresy, loving the Siege of Terra series.
Yeah.
So I heard that in that series there was a clue to the whereabouts of a very specific character who I was interested in, and at this point it's been out for a little while. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I should spoil it or not, but I'm just going to pull back there. But it's
Yeah.
someone from the heresy, very important to the story, who went missing and has been up to shenanigans. So
Ah, okay, cool. Well, it says their name on the cover, I think. I just Googled it. It says Penitent, a Beckwin novel by Dan Abnett.
not that one, no.
Okay.
Because it was either was it Penitent or was it Pariah? It's the
Oh,
second in the series that I just
okay.
finished.
Okay.
But
Pariah, yes.
it
Also,
might be Pariah. I might be thinking Pariah.
a Beckwin novel by Dan Abnett.
Yeah, Beckwin's
Yes.
the character, the main character from
Yeah.
Eisenhorn's
The
retinue.
city is this. The city in this book is called the city is called Queen Mab, which is a fairy queen in lore. So, or in I think Irish mythology.
I think so. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Anyways, so that's cool. Yeah, I haven't read any of that stuff if I'm being perfectly honest.
I have not read that second book yet. Just out of curiosity, and who cares if this gets spoiled? Who are they? Who is missing, or who is it they're finding? I am a big
It's
horse
Valdor.
heresy.
Hmm?
Oh,
Constantine
okay.
Valdor.
Okay. I'm currently reading a Saturnine right now, so okay.
Aha.
Okay,
That's a good
okay,
one. I really like Saturnine. That was good.
The guys on Lost the Nails basically said that it's the best Dan Abnett book, which that's a tall order. So I decided I'd go ahead and give that one a try. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'm in the middle of Steel Tread. I'm not in the middle of Steel Tread. I have almost completed Steel Tread, and that audiobook is freaking great. It's about a tank commander, and she takes command of this Cadian tank, but she is not Cadian. It talks about how all the regiments are starting to get pushed together mixed together to reinforce all of these regiments, and it talks about non-Cadians dealing with Cadians and working together. And it's pretty cool, partly because all of the radio communications that come into her tank are modulated to sound like actual radio communications.
Nice.
It's pretty neat. I think that it was really cool, and it actually really helps you differentiate between who's in the tank and who's not in the tank during all the dialogue. And
Yeah, I like that.
it actually enhances the experience, because you do feel closer to the people in the tank, just the way the tank commander does. So it's a really neat. They do make the terrible mistake of tanks fighting tanks, which you should never do. You never do that on purpose. But there's a lot of cool stuff involved in the camaraderie and stuff that goes on in that book. So that's a really cool book. I'm enjoying it a lot. So you're also looking at you're both reading the Siege of Terra right now, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as it's available.
Right. Yeah. No kidding. Was that available? This is Black Library Week. I know my buddy Tucker was really worried about not being able to pick up what was the Black Templar one? Who's the main Black Templar?
Oh, you're talking about the Sigismund book.
Sigismund, yeah. He was worried about not being able to get that, but he was able to nab it up. Have you guys made any dangerous purchases on Black Library this week?
Well, I've purchased ultimately too many Zephon models, but
Right, yeah. I think Tucker did pick up the double axe wielding Imperial Fist.
oh gosh, he's got like the coolest name. His name is Fafnir, like
Whoa,
the old Norse dragon, Fafnir Ron. Oh,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the internet getting mad that they thought he should be a Space Wolf or something. I'm not sure why they think every chapter has to appropriate like a specific culture on Earth, but okay, that's fine. It's cool. What are you in the middle of, Jason? What are you reading?
What am I reading? Saturnine. That's the
You're reading
one
Saturnine right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I've got kind of this thing where I'll read one or two GW books, and I'll go through and read other stuff to keep myself from burning out.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Have you read any of the Chris? Have you read any of the Warhammer Crime or Warhammer Horror stuff yet?
I haven't read any of the Warhammer horror stuff. Reading an Eisenhorn book is like reading a Warhammer crime novel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I've heard good things in some of the discords I'm in about the crime series. Again, I'm not sure if it's a something you want to hear about these novels or don't want to hear about these novels, but seems like the crime novels, which I haven't read but people talk about, and the horror novels, which I do read, all of them seem like they don't need to be in 40K. Like you could read them and not, it wouldn't matter that they are in 40K. It is totally, the plot is totally separate from the universe. They could just be horror. They could just be horror novels or crime novels, set in a futuristic, or remove a few points and they wouldn't even need to be futuristic. Which to me, that's I don't know if that's good or bad. I would like to see a little bit more in the way of tying it into the universe, but at the same time, we all know so much about the universe that you can just say, "Oh, it's this," and the fear response or the intrigue is gone because you already know what the answer is. That's what you're dealing with chaos. Sometimes you're like, "Oh, that's Zinch, whatever," or "That's Nurgle." So, oh well, I know what Nurgle is. That's not scary because I've seen models of that all the time. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is it hard? Do you think should I be expecting less or more?
I've read one Warhammer mystery type thing. I'm trying to remember who wrote it, and yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of 40K flavor, but it has a lot of Underhive flavor. More like not Necromunda exactly, but it's noir. I mean, it's dank, it's dark.
Yeah.
It fits.
Do you think it's fair to criticize it based on that, or?
I think so. If it has the brand name on it, it should have the brand in it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. And there's such a danger of someone just kind of guessing the answer a little too soon if you're heavy-handed with it. And I don't envy the responsibility of juggling the universe versus keeping the story, keeping people guessing the whole time. And in some ways, horror and mystery have a similar difficulties, and you're trying to keep people guessing or keep people on their toes throughout the whole thing, and saving it for the big reveal at the end, or at least hopefully, at least in some situations, I guess.
Now I'm trying to remember which book it was that I read, because they did have a really interesting AdMech character, which did go through and definitely put that story within the 40K universe, and that this AdMech detective needed what was connected to the news sphere, and there's all sorts of interesting AdMech intrigue, because there always is. But now I can't find the book. I need to keep looking to see who it was that wrote it. I'm sure our listeners right now are screaming at me saying, "No, it's this." Because one of our listeners told me to read it and actually mentioned it on the Discord.
Wow,
So,
an AdMech mystery. That's cool.
yeah.
I like that.
I think it was Mark. Yeah, it was Mark. Magos Mark who told me about it. That's okay. Well, he can sit there and yell at the podcast. I don't care. It's good for him. Builds character.
It does build character.
Yeah,
it's true. So we've also been reading the Dawn of Fire series. I've read all three. You've read all three, Chris?
Yeah, I finished Wolf Time before I started that last Beckwin novel. Because I had, I burned through so many Audible credits at once when I go on these sort of like, I don't have the other things in the hobby to do fast, so to speak. So this one is just a matter of like, until my basement's finished, I can't set anything up. So
yeah.
When I'm driving, when I'm working, when I'm doing stuff, now I'm generally always listening to some kind of podcast, or I'm listening to an audiobook. And
nice.
Yeah, the Dawn of Fire series, I have some thoughts and feelings, and I have some concerns.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in hearing your take.
you're going to be doing an episode on this, right? Your next episode that you're recording is going to be on the Dawn of Fire series, correct?
That's right. I want to talk about the first book, and I was hoping to get one or both of you on sometime to kind of join me in that discussion as people, or at least one of you guys has read up to that point.
Right.
But the first book in particular, and not necessarily just a full like book review,
Mm-hmm.
but
Like,
talking about the direction of the series and the implications of another Horus Heresy style long series,
yeah. Well, I'm happy to go on your show and talk with you about it. And my thoughts on the series has been ongoing throughout the episodes here. So why don't we leave it at that? And if folks want to check out our thoughts on it, they can check out the next episode of your show. What was the topic of the last one you just released?
So I talked about two different things. One of them
Mm-hmm.
was 40K Mysteries,
Mm-hmm.
kind of tying into why I was reading the Beckman novels to begin with.
Right.
Talking about some of the different things like missing chaos gods. Like
Right.
those are some of the mysteries and things or ideas that are put forward in the lore, but just aren't discussed quite enough in detail to satisfy someone like me. But it's
Right.
fertile soil for anybody who would like to use that as an inspiration for creating an army. I
Right.
talk a little bit about the missing Primarchs as well. I think I actually
Mhm.
spend most of the time talking about some of the missing Primarchs lore and some of the things I was able to find out as I did some research on it.
Mhm.
Because there's no real comprehensive guide to what
Mhm.
may have happened to them, and they're never going to come out and say it, right?
No,
But
yeah,
there are little clues that you can find here and there, like a Primarch Discovery Order list that was published by Laurie Golding on a blog that has since been removed, but somebody saved it. There's all these little things you can find, and then there's all the little tidbits, like a throwaway line or two in some of the black books from the Horus Heresy, gaming series, where someone will vaguely mention or allude to
Mhm.
something redacted, or mention the missing Primarchs and the legions and something to do with the Rangdan Xenocides, and there's
Oh
all
yeah,
these different little tickles,
yeah,
lore
yeah.
tickles. And so I tried to talk about a few of them, and it's kind of a build up for me on finding your own place in universe, like in the Warhammer 40K universe,
Mhm.
finding those fields that
Mhm.
the game creators have planted as a place for you to build your own, carve your own slice out of the dark millennium, so to speak.
Right.
And that was kind of the point of that, because I've been talking about certain aspects of creating your own faction within Warhammer 40K. I had Ricky on, who I used to record with on Forge the Narrative. He talked about how he created his Crusade army and some of
Mhm.
the design choices that he made, and talking about the physical modeling aspect of it, and then also talking about how you world build inside of it. So that's kind of the next step in this series that I've been talking about, was that. And then the other half of the episode was actually about narrative event gaming. So
Mhm.
when you go to somewhere like Adepticon and you want to play in an event, obviously there's tournaments, but there's also very structured narrative gaming events run by game masters of legendary caliber. And so I brought one of them on and talked about some of the things that make narrative gaming special and how to run, or what are the things that people enjoy about narrative gaming at events. Like, what are the sort of things that would bring someone to an event where they are paying for a ticket, they're paying for a plane ticket most likely,
Mhm.
and they're just kind of paying for an experience. What is that like? What does it take? So that's the other half of the most recent episode.
That's awesome. Well, that sounds right up our listeners' alley. Folks should check that out. Chris, are you going to Adepticon this year?
I unfortunately had to bow out
Okay.
shortly before tickets went live due to some personal family
Right.
circumstances that
Understood.
had to take priority.
Yeah.
But
Say no
I am
more.
planning on next year's. I was gonna
Yeah.
I was gonna do the Istvan 3 event and hang out with Miles David and all that. So
Yeah, understood. Yeah, you're always doing the Horus Heresy stuff at Adepticon, right? That's your Jimmy Jam. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
we're going to be doing the independent characters like Discord group. We're getting a couple, actually I'm not sure how many tables we're getting, but we're going to get a few tables for open narrative gaming, like Crusade style narrative gaming. If folks wanted to jump in, I still don't know how many tables we're getting. They're going to get back to us, I guess, whenever they sort out how many. I assume they had multiple requests for clubs to get their own space and stuff. And so keep your ears open, everybody. There's going to be plenty of narrative gaming going on at Adepticon, whether it's structured or open or whatever. There's going to be someone there to play Warhammer with you. One of the things that looks really interesting is the AOS people are doing a Path to Glory camp, like a Path to Glory event, which is their Crusade system. And
Oh, that sounds fun.
I was really tempted to do it, but it's during the 40K friendly, and like everybody I know is going to that, so it's like I can't switch, but it does sound really interesting. If folks are really into narrative gaming and you want to try out do some AOS narrative gaming, give that a shout.
I am addicted to the dwarves of Age of Sigmar. I think
Oh.
they're just so much fun.
They're so cool.
Before I forget, the novel was Flesh and Steel by Guy Haley. It's a Noctis and Lux novel. Sorry, I got a little OCD on that. Was like digging through my library.
Like, where is this thing?
I know, I read it.
Fair enough. All right, Chris. Well, I'm glad you're able to get on and talk to us about your show. Once again, it's on the
Frontline Gaming
Network. Okay,
Yep.
cool. And and if it's the only thing you listen to on there, hey, what did you lose except for a couple megabytes on your device, right? It's not
temporarily. Yeah.
It's exactly. It does. You can just download Chris's podcast. That's all you have to listen to. But I do recommend the After Dark show. Apparently, it's fantastic.
They have a lot of fun there. They certainly do. There's a lot of there's a diverse bit of content on the FLGN. I've been very happy to see that. Of course, they have a lot of the competitive stuff, which Frontline is known for. But
absolutely,
one of the reasons that they talked to me about joining up was because they're like, well, there's this whole swath of gamers who don't really do competitive, but are interested in other things. Why don't you talk about that? So I was like, me talk? Yes, please sign me up.
I love this. This is my
I'll do that. And it's been pretty cool because the show actually got to the number 2 spot on the network so far as listens and people who are enjoying it. That's right awesome. Behind Signals for the Frontline, and that was very humbling for me because it's what it's like when you're talking out to the void and it feels like you're talking to yourself in a room, but then there's all these people who are getting to know you that you don't get to see, but people seem to be enjoying it. So, and one happy milestone, it's the joke that Carl used to say. It's like, well, the podcast isn't the podcast unless it hits 10 episodes. Next episode is my episode 10.
Hell yeah. Nicely done. Congratulations, dude.
There you go, Carl. I'm legit now.
Well, yeah, and now he might be open to talking about your show on his show now that you've gotten your 10 episodes.
Oh man.
Wow, that was rough, man.
I went there.
Yeah. Ooh. Ouch.
Next you're just my falsetto's gonna start acting up again.
Yeah.
In response to the embarrassment.
You know what? It's worth listening to after the first episode, Chris, and I don't think there's any mystery as to why you reached the number 2 slot on the FLG. You're a great guy to listen to, and it's really good content, well researched. So,
thank you.
Kudos to you, man.
Appreciate that. I really do.
Well, it speaks for itself. So, All right, guys. Well, thanks again, Chris, for coming on. We
Thank
really
you for inviting me
appreciate it.
again. Thank
Folks,
you so much.
Hang on and stick with us because we're going to come back and play a game of Warhammer 40,000.
Greetings, mofos.
Are you out of George Dickel number 8, staring at a broken chess machine?
Well, don't want to spend the rest of the year tied to that couch?
Well, why don't you head on over to the 1 Hour a Night Facebook page and see what exciting stuff is going on there. It's a place to post all your daily progress in the hobby grind, as well as receive and give positive feedback. Also, there are usually a few interesting challenges going on.
That's right. All you have to do is search for 1 Hour a Night on Facebook. That's numeral 1 hour a night, all one word. Blood serum tests will be administered prior to approval.
Se til helvete og kom dere vekk. Det er ikke ei bikkje, det er en slags ting. Den imiterer ei bikkje, men det er ikke det. Kom dere vekk, idioter!
What he said.
Damn, I knew it was around here somewhere. Damn, where is it?
Can I help you?
Ah! Scared me.
What do you seek?
I need the perfect scenario for a narrative game I'm running this week, and I can't find one.
Sir, this is the Black Library. We don't have narrative scenarios.
Well, then where should I go?
Might I recommend the Tabletop Campaign Repo?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo? What's that?
The Tabletop Campaign Repo is an ad-free site for hosting resources related to playing tabletop miniatures wargaming.
Oh, like scenarios?
Absolutely. Also, event packs, custom objectives, tracking sheets, custom terrain rules, maps, icon packs, award templates, and more.
Oh, and this is for Warhammer 40k?
Among other things, there's also Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and others. They're always open for content submissions for any system, even non-Games Workshop materials.
Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like a great way to save all of this great content the community makes. A lot of that stuff often ends up disappearing into a dead message board or Facebook group.
Exactly. It's a real community effort.
Great. So how do I get there?
Just go to that webway gate marked tcrepo.com.
tcrepo.com. Got it. Can I ask you one more question before I go?
Fire away.
This place is really easy to find. How come Armand can never find it?
Oh, because it's more funny that way.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Once again, the Tabletop Campaign repository can be found at tcrepo.com, and they're always looking for submissions.
Welcome back. Thanks again to Games Workshop for supplying us with books and models. Mostly thanks for the books. You know what, Games Workshop, if you want to just send us double copies of the books and no models, feel free. Because you're just giving us work. Anyways,
well,
I kid. So I read through the beginning part. So again, we're not trying to do a full review of this book and all the missions. In fact, I think Tony and his Narrative Wargamer podcast, they're going to be doing a full review also. So, but like before, we've gone through every mission. I don't think that's going to happen with this book.
No.
But let's talk about the way this works. This book allows your Crusade army to follow one of 5 different faiths that are meant to be able to represent any specific deity or belief system an army might have.
Mm-hmm.
So each faction has this recommended faith that's listed in the book. For example, it's recommended that Tzeentch followers use the Timeless Trickery faith, and that Orcs followers use the Dark Fervor faith, which is spelled super weird. I guess I can rattle off a few of them. So also on Timeless Trickery are Eldari and Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Dark Fervor, it's also Chaos Knights, Drukhari, Khorne, and Nurgle.
And then Divine Piety is Adeptus Sororitas, Astra Militarum, Imperial Knights, Tyranids, and Gene Stealer cults. Okay, I
Right.
need to go through and read this a bit better. That was a little odd.
Well, I mean, it's the one that best represents it. Like, in these don't really represent gods, because purity of dedication faith includes Tau, Adeptus Custodes, and Adeptus Astartes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a belief system,
right?
And a conviction that the believers themselves have, and that's how it actually plays out on the tabletop too.
And what's fun to bring that on is there's a faith called Machina Eternal, which is both Mechanicus and the Necrons, of course.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah.
So each faith has an anathema faith. So it's a different faith that they either hate or vehemently disagree with, and there's rules for how they play against each other later. A player isn't required to use a suggested faith, and they can instead choose one better fitting their forces makeup. For example, although the Astartes are suggested to use the purity of dedication, I could see a group of Iron Warriors or Sons of Medusa. Either that, Iron Warriors, Iron Hands, Sons of Medusa. They might choose Machina Eternal instead, because they're more into machines and tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
So the Crusade forces, they improve their belief level over time, starting with 0. And this represents members of the Crusade forces' strength of conviction in their chosen beliefs. So it's the members of the force believing in the ideology. It's not like a expendable resource, right?
Right.
So during Wars of Faith games, your army's belief level has direct impacts on the game. Their level is 1 to 5. Okay. So during the Wars of Faith missions, there's idols placed on the battlefield, kind of like objectives. And the abilities that your idol has will refer to your belief level. So your belief level is counted as 1 higher when fighting your anathema faith. So at the start of the battle round, you select one of the abilities you have access to. So for each level, you have access to that many. So if you're level 3, you have access to 3 abilities, and you have to pick one of them at the start of the battle round. All the icons that are on the battlefield gain that ability. So at the bigger games, you have more icons on the more idols on the battlefield. You'll note that in our game, yours is a book on a pedestal, and mine is a war drum.
Ah, okay.
That's pretty sweet. All icons have a divinity range, which is usually determined by the mission. In this one, our mission for Martyrs Reborn, the idols will have a divinity range of 9 inches. So the ability that you have will work out to 9 inches.
Okay.
Characters can have a paragon keyword. Missions can bequeath this keyword to one or more characters. A character can also become a paragon with a requisition. Each faith provides a different paragon ability to its paragons. Paragons can also perform an action called Make Offering on one of your idols from the command phase to the end of the movement phase. So they can still fight and shoot and stuff, which is nice. This gives your idol a second ability. It gives your idol an ability that they normally don't have that you would normally have access to. So you can't give them a higher level ability that you don't have access to.
Yeah.
It just lets you have 2 abilities instead of 1. A force's belief level will increase by collecting belief points during games. These exist for granularity purposes,
right?
So that you can spend more several games bringing up your belief level. winning a Wars of Faith game increases your belief points by 2, and losing one decreases it by 1 to a minimum of 0. So winning gets you more points than losing loses you points. That way you're always, well, hopefully always increasing it incrementally.
Right.
Win or lose. So the faiths we're going to be using. Normally we go through, when we have rules, we go through and we talk about them. Like we each pick one and we talk about it. So for this one, we'll do the ones that are reflected in our armies. So I will be doing Dark Fervor for some reason.
Good, I found the only one that was wondering about that word.
My anathema faiths are divine piety and purity of dedication. It is a dark and bloody age ruled by the warmonger and the destroyer. Many savage belief systems arise in such times. Cults of battle for battle's sake and the spilling of lifeblood in the name of the thirsting deities. So I see my army as definitely using the default one. But I could also see some orc clans being more into timeless trickery, like not the snake bites. What's the sneaky one? Like maybe bad moons, but who are the ones that are super sneaky and Astra Militarmi?
Oh,
my memory is so bad, dude. As I get older, it only gets worse.
Like, I remember this one.
It's so bad. And like 90% of our listeners know. Like they know the answer.
I don't have my Orc Codex nearby, but I know which one you're talking about.
They're the Blood Axes. It's the Blood Axes. So I could see the Blood Axes actually doing Timeless Trickery instead.
Yeah.
And I could see the Evil Sons doing, or the Bad Moons doing Machinia Eternal instead.
Yeah.
It's just a matter, of how you feel your army's belief in their own abilities and their own ideologies, how they reflect on the battlefield or in their hearts.
Well, I was thinking that, depending on your bad moon, if you have a bad moons force, you might, even have the Machina Eternal, the Machina Eternal. That might be.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you there. So here's the idol abilities. So belief level 1+ is Vicious Zealotry. So these are abilities on the idol that reach out to, like in aura range of the idol. Okay, so at level 1 you get Vicious Zealotry. Each time you use the Cut Them Down stratagem, if the enemy unit is falling back from a unit in your army that is within divinity range of this idol, the enemy suffers 1 mortal wound for each as a result of a 4+ instead of a 6.
Oh,
that is amazing. If they try to fall back, you chop them up. That's so cool. Level 2+, you can do a Blood Offering. At the end of any phase of an enemy unit that started in divinity range has been destroyed, you gain 1 command point. You can't get more than 1 per battle round, so you get CP for killing people. Culling of Blades. While a unit from your army is in range of the idol, when they make a pylon or consolidate move, it can move an additional 2 inches, which is nice.
That is nice, especially if you've got a charging army. Yeah.
Death Missionaries. In your command phase, select 1 unit in your army with divinity range. Until the start of your next command phase, each time that unit finishes a charge move, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of that unit. Roll a d6 for each model in that unit from your army. For each 5+, that enemy suffers 1 mortal wound. Nice.
Yeah.
Just like kind of like slam attacks for charging. Brutal Death Throws. This is the level 5 ability. It's an aura. When a unit is within divinity range, except for vehicles, each time a unit is destroyed as a result of a melee attack, Each time a model in that unit is destroyed as a result of a melee attack. After the attacking unit has finished making their attacks, roll a d6. On a 6, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So they reflect damage back, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So your character, your Paragon, will have the ability Avatar of Ferocity. Each time this model makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And that's going to be on your, your
my weird
Paragon
boy.
character. So
yeah, that'll be pretty sweet. So you have Timeless Trickery. Do you want to tell us about that, Jason?
All right. So Timeless Trickery, our Anathema faiths are interesting. Our Machina Eternal and Purity of Dedication.
Yeah. You don't want people dedicated to a cause and succeeding through diligence. No one wants diligence.
Huh. Interesting. I'm not surprised really by the Purity of Dedication, but the Eternal Machines kind of. Anyway.
Well, you're like putting gremlins in there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well-ordered minds.
I just find it amusing that both Death Guard and Thousand Suns are not listed on here, but Nurgle and Tzeentch are. It's interesting that they didn't actually say Thousand Suns.
No, they just said Tzeentch.
Yeah, especially since they keep asking for priest units, and there's not a priest unit in the Thousand Suns Codex.
You're
nope.
He's
Infernal
not a
Master.
priest?
Nope.
Oh, he should be.
He should be. I mean, that's who I would think would have it, but no, he has Infernal Master keyword, and I thought, well, maybe it's the Zangor Shaman. Nope, doesn't have priest either. So
that's dumb.
It was one of those things I was looking at. I was like, all right, where's my codex? And I started reading through the codex and trying to remember if I had a priest model or not. And I obviously don't. But anyway, not important. Timeless Trickery. Some faiths in the 41st millennium espouse cunning and subtlety, the arts of warpcraft and manipulation. For some, this is a path into glorious damnation, of willingly succumbing to the beings of the warp in return for great power. For others, is quite the opposite, a tightrope trodden with infinite care towards a glimmer of perilous hope. So, yeah. So, at idle abilities. So, at Belief Level 1, we have Warp-Filled Disciples, which is an aura. So, while a Psyker unit from your army is within Divinity range of this idol, each time that unit manifests a psychic power that deals 1 or more mortal wounds to any enemy units, select one of those enemy units. That enemy unit suffers 1 additional mortal wound. Now, that's pretty good, especially if it's basically anyone who's casting within Divinity range, which is 9 inches? So that's
for this game, yeah, it'll be 9 inches.
Yeah, that's like 18 inches, 9-inch radius. Yeah, that's that could be everybody. So I like that. That's pretty powerful for the first belief level.
Yeah, that's great for your army.
Yeah. Second is Enlightened Followers. It's an aura. So while a psyker from your unit is within Divinity range of the idol, each time that unit manifests a psychic power, if the unmodified result of that psychic test was 10+, you gain a command point. If that psyker unit has a Tzeentch keyword, you gain 1 command point on an unmodified psychic test roll of 9+. You cannot gain more than 1 command point per battle round from this ability. I'm trying to remember if all the Thousand Suns have Tzeentch keywords, though. I'll have to go look at that.
They kind of, I would assume so.
I would assume so, but I thought there would be a priest model too. So,
Yeah,
all right. Etheric Winds, which is a 3-up or the 3+ buff level. I have a question. Do these all stack? So, if you have a belief level of 5, do you get all these gifts?
No, you have access to them. You have to pick one at the start of the battle round. Yeah. And so we're going to be... so I think I misspoke earlier, just to let you know. You start with 0 faith points, but your faith level, your belief level starts at 1.
Okay. All right,
So,
that makes sense.
so
Okay.
the only thing we're going to have access to is warp. You're going to have access to warp-filled disciples, and I'm going to have access to what was it again? Flip. Vicious zealotry.
Okay.
So if I use the cut them down stratagem, which is a core stratagem, so I have access to it using our custom stratagem access rules.
Okay.
If you try falling back near my idol, you're going to get messed up. And you're going to be dealing additional mortal wounds.
Oh yeah. Let's see. On the 3+ belief level, we have Etheric Winds, which one's actually kind of fun. While a psychic unit from this army is within divinity range of this idol, the first time that unit manifests its psychic power this turn, after that psychic power has been resolved, that unit can make a normal move of up to 3 inches. Yeah, kind of just pushing a log. So
that is so neat. You cast a power and then you get a free move.
Yeah, and that could be, that could move you out of charge range or move you directly in.
Yeah, that's so you move up, cast a power, then move back, or move up, cast a power, and go, wah.
Oh, that is true. I hadn't thought about it. Yeah. All right, Unseen Gifts. In your command phase, select one Psyker from your army within divinity range of the idol. Until the start of your next command phase, each time that unit is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll one hit roll and can reroll one wound roll while resolving that unit's attacks.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one's... Yeah.
For your army, I'd rather have one of the Psyker ones, but that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's kind of... Honestly, the first belief level is probably the one that's probably the best, I think. Devotee Uplifted. In your command phase, select one Psyker unit from your army within divinity range of this idol. Until the start of your next command phase, you can reroll psychic tests and reroll deny the witch test taken for that unit.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that's actually pretty great. So 1 and 5 are pretty good. The others are they're okay.
Yeah, Etheric Winds is pretty neat. Like, I could definitely see you always being in the first level and then using the action to also get one of the other ones, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it ends in the action is completed at the end of your command phase, at the end of your movement phase. So you can still do you can still do your psychic powers after doing the sacrificial action. All right, what's the Paragon ability?
Empiric Influence. So either this warrior has gained a powerful and unnatural patron in the warp, or else they are able, through manipulation and cunning, to influence its tides for their own benefit. So each time a psychic power is manifested by this unit, increase the range of that psychic power by 6 inches. If the power specifies multiple ranges, add 6 inches to the first range specified in that psychic power only. The thing is that I think Thousand Suns, as long as they're battle forged, already get that 6 inches.
Well, it doesn't say it. There's no stacking rules for this particular ability, so that means they stack. So you're going to have an additional 12 inches on this model.
Whoa, okay.
He's going to be smiting like 100,000 inches.
Yeah, that's actually
pretty sweet. So I like this book for our... Well, let's talk really quickly about priest battle traits.
Yeah.
So there are additional battle traits you can take for your army, for things with the priest keyword. As you said, you don't have anything with the priest keyword in your army.
I just
which
can't
is unfortunate.
Find it.
And I don't either. But there's things in your army that should count as priests, and they really should be adding that keyword to everything that has a similar ability. Things that inspire and whatnot. Anyways, I picked Divine Guidance battle trait. Every time they use a litany or a hymn or a chants of prayer, if it's heard or if it's inspiring on a 6, you gain 1 command point. So that's cool. When you roll for your litany, you get a 6, you get a command point. That's neat.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I picked up Shield of Piety. Once per battle round, when this priest recites a litany, intones a hymn, or chants a prayer, if it is inspiring or if it is heard in your opponent's next psychic phase, this priest can attempt to deny one psychic power as if it were a psyker. If this priest is a psyker, it can attempt to deny one additional psychic power in your opponent's next psychic phase.
Nice.
So that's actually pretty cool. Shutting down psychic powers is probably a really good idea.
Yeah, especially in this game or in this campaign where we're both playing psychic heavy armies.
Yeah,
I probably if it were not the two of us trying to play somewhat different armies, Trickery might have been a better one, like from a power level for me.
Yeah,
but to be honest, I think I like the idea of having something a little not optimal.
Yeah.
So there are new requisitions in here also. They all have to do with the paragons and the belief points and stretching that in one way or the other. You can use your imagination to. In previous books, they use requisitions as a way for you to catch up on things.
Yeah.
And to gain things a little bit better. For example, one of the ones is a blood sacrifice, which gains a unit in your army D3 battle scars, and then the force itself gains 3d3 belief points, which is
brutal.
Which is just awesome. This is pretty awesome. I like that. There's also new agendas, so let's each pick one.
All right.
To use in our game today. So the one I'm going to use is Desecrate Holy Sites. We're playing a combat patrol mission, so we're only going to have one agenda. So this one is keep a Desecrate Holy Sites tally for each Paragon unit in your army. So I'm only going to have one Paragon because we haven't spent any requisition points to make someone a Paragon, and this is a small game, so there's only going to be one designated by the mission. And it has to complete the following action. Desecrate Holy Site. One or more Paragon units from your army can start to perform it at the end of your movement phase. Each unit from your army that starts to perform it must be within 3 inches of a different one of your opponent's idols. So they can both start it at the same turn if they wanted to. It's completed at the end of your turn, and that idol is said to be desecrated.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stand on your opponent's idol for a full turn, which is good because most of the time these are in your opponent's deployment zone. It would be super hard. Each unit gains a number of experience points equal to their Desecrate Holy Sites tally for a maximum of 2 experience. There's only one idol for each of us in this mission, so the maximum is going to be 2 XP.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the battle, if every one of your opponent's idols has been desecrated, so 1, or the combined total of all your units' desecrated holy sites is 3 or more, your Crusade force gains 3 belief points. And oddly enough, 3 belief points is enough to reach belief level 2.
Nice.
Yeah, belief points 0 to 3 is level 1. Oh no, it's not quite enough. You're 1 away. 4 to 8, it's 2. 9 to 15, it's 3. 16 to 24 is 4. And then belief points of 25 plus is belief level 5. So... all right. Which one are you going to pick, Jason?
I decided to pick Psychic Interference.
Uh-huh.
So keep a Psychic Interference tally for each Psyker unit from your army. Add 1 to the unit's Psychic Interference tally each time it successfully completes the following Psychic action, which is Psychic Interference, Warp Charge 6. 1 Psyker character from a unit from your army can attempt to perform this action in your Psychic phase if it is within 12 inches of any of your opponent's idols. Each unit gains 2 experience points if their Psychic Interference tally is 1, or 5 interference points if their tally is 2 or more. Mm-hmm. If the combined total of all of your units' Psychic Interference tallies are 2, your Crusade force gains 1 belief point. 3 or more, your Crusade force gains 2 belief points. So,
Okay.
thought that might be, a good one to pick up.
All right, you think that's gonna be a toughie, or you think that'll be?
I don't know. I think this one might be a difficult one. I'm not sure yet. There are others that are that I would be more inclined to use, but they are basically copies out of previous books, or they're copies out of the codex.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's a psychic action means I can deny it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we should look up your Thousand Suns rules to see if your undeniable ability works for actions, works for psychic actions.
Oh,
if
the
it
Kabbalistic.
Yeah, we'll look that up in a little bit. I think it might not, but it would be interesting to look up and see if it is a thing. And 12 inches is pretty far. You might be able to get that done pretty quickly. But anyways, this looks like fun. I was thinking about this. This book came out in a pretty opportune time because we're both playing these psychic heavy armies in our campaign here. And I think it would make sense to continue playing missions from this book and kind of do a different mission every time and kind of expand for maybe the next 6 months or so.
Yeah.
That'll be at least 6 recorded games using this book. And so instead of actually reviewing every mission to mission in one episode, instead we'll be kind of reviewing the book over the course of the next few months.
That's a possibility.
I think it really makes sense. We haven't really used any of the retrieve Nachman data, or we haven't really been doing any of the campaign resources in any of these. I certainly haven't used any of it.
No, I haven't either.
Going on and actually using this book to its fullest, I think would be a lot of fun. Just A, because we haven't done it before, and B, because I think it just makes total sense for the campaign that we're running.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, what we could do is, that, and also take this to Adepticon so we can kind of run a few games there to see, just what's going on.
Yeah. So, okay. So why don't we take a break and refuel our water, put our faith stuff on our campaign sheets, and I will also add the we're only level 1, so I'll also add the idol ability in the description on each of our idols on Tabletop Simulator. And we'll come back and talk about the mission lists and do our deployment. One infantry unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase if it's within 1 inch of the idol, excluding constructed idols. So there's actually a cool agenda that lets you actually construct new idols on the battlefield.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. And no units from your army have successfully completed this action this game. The action is completed at the end of the turn. If this action is successfully completed, select 1 destroyed unit from your army, excluding vehicles, and return it to the battlefield with all of its models and their full wounds remaining. And it's set up wholly within 6 inches of the idol. So you can do this. You can only do this once. But you basically get to bring back 1 unit. Paragons, at the start of the battle round, select 1 character model from your army.
Mm-hmm.
Excluding models that are already Paragons. Until the end of the battle, that model gains the Paragon keyword.
Cool.
Yep. And your Faith's Paragon ability. So here are the mission objectives. So the battlefield is set up. We're going long ways, as these small missions hopefully mostly do now.
Yeah.
The deployment zones are 12 inches from the center. The objectives are set up in a rectangle in no man's land.
Yeah.
And also our icons are in no man's land as well.
Yeah.
Within 9 inches of the center of the battlefield. So our divinity range basically touches in the center of the battlefield. So it's going to be a mad battle for the no man's land. So at the end of each battle round, if in that battle round a player's opponent returned a unit to the battlefield using the Martyrs Reborn action, that player scores a number of victory points equal to the power rating of the unit their opponent returned to the battlefield. So if I bring back one of my boys' units, you'll get 5 victory points because that's the power rating of that unit.
Okay, yeah.
There's a whole thing about splitting and Tau Empire drones. It's whatever.
Yeah, I did see that. That's kind of funny.
A Place of Miracles. At the end of each player's command phase, the player whose turn it is scores 5 victory points for each of the following conditions, for a maximum of 15. Control 1, Control 2, Control more. They can't be scored in the first round. So this is at the end of each command phase. So you have to hold it the entire battle round.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't get that at the end of the battle, at the end of the turn. It'll be a bloody game, I think.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bloody one.
The victor bonus is 2 RP instead of 1, and also D3 belief points, which is really nice because you get 2 for winning a game anyways.
Yeah.
So you get 2 plus you get D3 plus 2 belief points if you win the game, which is pretty awesome. You'll certainly be, if you complete your agenda, you'll certainly gain a level of belief.
Yeah.
So let's go over our armies, which is kind of what I was hemming and hawing over here a moment ago. I was like making sure I had everything.
Right.
And of course, I didn't have Numlock on. Freaking idiot. I started tabbing all over the place like a buffoon.
I don't know. Let's see.
Makes you feel good. All right, so we're doing 30 power level. We're not doing 25. 25 is too small.
Yeah.
We're doing 30. I have Zagwarp. Zagwarp is cool. He's my Werboy. So he's not my big boss. He's not the big boss in the army. He's kind of the lieutenant. And he has gained the blooded rank.
Yeah.
Can I have some?
I mean, chew into the mic too.
No.
I love sunflower seeds, and I don't know why. I really
It's
do.
fine.
They make great sounds too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. He has an artificer weapon, so he's +1 Crusade point in addition to.
It's not treats, cat. Go away.
It sounds like treats. It sounds like
does sound like treats. He's like in my face now. He's like ready to roll.
So I've been a little feeling like this poor Werboy hasn't had very much luck in combat, even though he has like 1 billion attacks. He's got Big Killaboss, which gives him +2 attacks near a vehicle or a monster, and +1 to wound monsters and vehicles. And he's also got the Beasthide Mantle, which is +1 attack and 5+ feel no pain. And he's also a Beast Snaga, so he's got a +1 to hit vehicles and monsters. So he's amped up to kill him some vehicles and monsters.
He's ready to rock and roll, man.
Yeah,
he's ready.
Unfortunately, the Werboy does not have a close combat weapon. He doesn't have a staff, so he's punching monsters and vehicles with his fists. It's the worst.
Who is he? Russell Crowe?
I know. So I gave him.
Wow,
I
that's
gave him
an old reference.
I gave him the artificial weapon Crusade relic for his generic close combat weapon, which in 9th edition we still have.
Yeah.
For unmodified hit rolls of 6, inflict 1 mortal wound in addition. So hopefully that'll help him out.
Huh.
He's also lost a leg though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
he's
right.
got -1 to move, advance, and charge.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cute? He's funny. Yeah. I've got 2 units of Beast Snaggaboys. They're both in trucks. So we've got Iron Biters Half-Wits and Hogsnix Boys. Hogsnix Boys, I believe, they're on the cusp of gaining blooded rank. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Also, the Squig Hog Boys and Knob on Smash a Squig, who I haven't looked at the names of those sergeants yet, so I'll have to get back to you on their names at a later date. But yeah, Knob on Smash a Squig and the Squig Hog Boys. The Knob on Smash a Squig is also on the cusp of gaining blooded rank because he did an awesome job in my game with Curtis, and Curtis awarded him the
marked for greatness.
He was marked for greatness.
Nice.
Right? Good for him.
Yeah, that is nice. That's good. Okay.
So target number 1. One of the trucks has a grab and claw, and that's the one that gained a level the last time we played. And he got Armor Bane. So he rerolls wound rolls of a 1 when resolving attacks against vehicles or monsters. So we're like the story of this is we're going after one of your units, which you're going to be talking about here in a second.
Poor Fred.
The whole point is we're going to try to get him and get after him. All right. So that is my army. That is 30. So just to let you know, my Crusade points are 4. I have 4 Crusade points because my character has a relic and a warlord trait, and a Crusade relic, and the Squig truck has a ability, but also we have the missing leg for a -1. So I have 3. Sorry, I have 3.
I think
Crusade points.
I have 2. So I have 1 relic and a warlord trait.
And you don't have any other abilities on anybody else from Crusade?
I do have 1 ability on a unit that's not playing in this game, and we'll talk about why it's not in this game.
Then that doesn't matter. So you're going to get +1 command point this game.
Woo! Rad.
Rock on.
Yeah. All right. So my army. So I brought my Exalted Sorcerer, who I'm not sure what I've named him, to be honest. I'm okay with that. This is 30 power level, so I also wanted to go through and start bringing in units that I have not played before, because I had 4 requisition points available before game, and so I went ahead and upgraded and brought in 15 supply points or power level points to bring in 2 groups of Zangors and Fred the Mutalith.
Nice.
Yeah. And so where was I going with that? Sorry. So Fred will be in this game. I'm wanting to bring him because I'm taking him to Adepticon, and I need to figure out how to play this this mini before I show up. And I need to bring in some Zangors because they need to die. And also, whenever we go to Adepticon, I'll be taking some more Zangors as part of the friendly, because Zangors are more friendly than Rubrics or Terminators. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, Exalted Sorcerer's there. He is rank blooded. He has the Master Informator Warlord trait. He has the relic of the Incandium, which is a kind of an assault staff. It's kind of cool.
Oh, the Flamer staff?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, he is blooded, depending on how he does today. I don't know what the next rank is, but he...
Oh, yeah. If he's blooded, he should have a some kind of upgrade on him that we
forgot
Probably
to put on.
forgot to give him.
Cool. I'll do that later. We'll do that after the game.
We should roll it live.
You want to roll it live? You want to do this live?
I want to do it live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I bring one from the Thousand Suns Codex?
You should bring one from the Thousand Suns Codex.
All right.
The question is, are we going to do a Crusade relic? Are we going to do a weapon enhancement? Well, it depends on what they have in there.
Okay, let me see.
Because they don't always have the same things. They don't always have everything in there. Like a battle trait.
Let me see. We've got some different requisitions. I really do need to go through and work through this book a little bit more. Chaos boons, but that is... I have to do that somewhat a different way. Battle traits. I do have a battle trait, and I have psychic fortitudes.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Let me see. I want to make sure.
I'd be hard pressed to decide whether I wanted a psychic fortitude or a battle trait.
Yeah, that's kind of the.
You should roll that off.
All right, how about this?
You should let Zinch decide.
All right, I am going to be using one of our Masters of the Forge die. All right. Okay. Odds, battle traits, even psychic fortitude.
All right.
Okay. Odds, so battle trait. D3. Trait.
Okay.
I rolled a 6. Eye of Zinch.
Ooh.
Oh. All right, Eye of Zinch. The regard of the Change God is upon this champion, propelling them on towards either glory or ruin. Each time an out-of-action test is failed for this unit, re-roll the test. Each time this model gains a Chaos boon, you can re-roll the result. Oh, this is the one I wanted. Okay, cool. All right, cool.
That's awesome. So I still have more Crusade points than you, so you're still getting a bonus command point.
Okay.
But it's just by 1.
Hold on, let me add this to his chart.
It's every 2 or fraction thereof.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to add that to your thingy.
Yeah, because this is the one I was at. Surprisingly enough, I actually got the one I wanted.
That's awesome.
Because when I start going to Chaos boons, if you re-roll your Chaos boon... Oh, wait, hold on. If you roll a double on a Chaos boon, I believe you're turned into a spawn immediately.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah, no, that's why... that's why I was kind of like, yeah, let's not do that. All right.
Well, that's freaking sweet, dude. So, you have your Chaos Lord, or your Exalted Sorcerer. He's on a disc.
Oh yeah, I need to talk about the rest of my list. That's him. Got the Neolith Vortex Beast, which I'm calling Fred. I've got 2 squads of Rubric Marines. These guys have not. They haven't done anything. Like, they've been useless. They haven't killed anything, don't have any rank. So guess what? They're here as, get good, scrub. And Zangors, this is a brand new group. I think I need to go back and fix whatever I have in there, because I just added the Zangors because it's like, they're dead anyway. But I probably should
one of them. Yeah, one of them should have a banner, and one of them should have an instrument.
Yeah, the Brayhorn. Well. Yeah, I just forgot to tag that. I'll fix that later tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
But that's pretty much what I've got. Not a.
No, yeah, it's just the sorcerer, the Fred, 2 units of rubrics, and 1 big unit of Zangor. But I think that's a, with a Mutalith Vortex Beast in the list, it's hard to have a whole lot of models. I think that'll be very much a hunting party of orcs going after the Vortex Beast, and I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I think this Vortex Beast should be like lunch or something. That's my belief.
Like psychic lunch. We're looking to ingest Vortex Beast so we can empower us even further.
Yeah,
I think that sounds like a really good narrative focus for this mission. That sounds like a cool idea. I like it. So, all right, we've got our lists, we've got our mission, we've got all of that. All that's left
deployment
is the roll off to see who deploys first.
Oh, okay.
So
Let me pop over to tabletop.
will roll my dice. Here we go. Or it will float haphazardly. Here we go.
Yeah, that was
2.
happening to me earlier.
I rolled a 2.
All right, let me see. Hey, why aren't you...
It's being very rude.
Yeah, mine's been kind of weird.
It's a good thing we don't record the entire thing.
I've got a 3.
You got a 3.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the winner decides who will be the attacker and who will be the defender. So would you like to pick... We've already done the sides, and they're pretty equal. So...
oh, wait, did I win that?
Yes, you won. I rolled a 2.
Oh, okay. Cool. What? That's okay, we already chose sides. What's the other option?
You're just choosing attacker or defender. This is a asymmetrical. So whoever is the defender deploys the first model.
Okay. I'll go with attacker.
Okay.
Maybe we accidentally found you in this area.
Sounds good. All right. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everyone. So for deployment, so let's talk about this battlefield first of all.
Yeah.
It's a pair of ruins in no man's land, creating a little pocket in the center of open terrain in the very center of the battlefield, but the ruins are blocking all kinds of line of sight.
Yeah.
Flanking those 2 ruins are two scraggly woods down the middle for some -1 to hit. In each deployment zone, there's a stack of containers and also a ruin. On my side, I have deployed a truck full of Beast Snagga boys on either side of the containers. And in the center truck is the Warboy, Zagwarp. Next to him is the Nabon Snasha-Squig. And then in the ruin, I have 3 Squig Hug boys. And that is my deployment.
And I have, let me bring it back up here. I have a lot of stuff coming in down the center because of just the way that the field is constructed. I do have one set of rubrics on the right flank, but everyone else is going right down the center to pick up that idol. Or
it almost looks like a marching column.
Yeah, it kind of does. But I mean, doesn't that kind of work though for Thousand Suns?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They don't care.
Yeah, it's they just move forward. They are automaton. What are we talking about?
Yeah. So we're going to roll off to see who decides to go first. Remember, in narrative play, the winner actually still gets to choose whether to go first or second, unless the mission specifies otherwise, which this one does not. I rolled a 4.
Let me go roll that real quick. Let's see. I rolled a 3.
All right. I would like to go second.
Okay.
Please. All right, we're going to come back at the end of Jason's turn 1.
Hi, everyone. We had a little bit of a problem when we were recording this part of the episode. Actually, the first night we had a lot of problems when we were getting Tabletop Simulator to record with Zencaster. So this one area that we'll have next, my first turn where I deploy, we have my activities, but unfortunately Adam's part didn't record. It does seem like, though, the rest of the episode did record properly. I do apologize for this. Sometimes these things happen. Basically, oh, thank you for taking notes. So, otherwise, I'd have been like so busy with Zencast, I wouldn't even remembered that. All right, so I basically nudged everyone up. I ran the Zangors, got into the psychic phase, and I immediately teleported Fred the Mutalith, using Sorcerer's Facade from the Exalted Sorcerer. Popped him to the woods just in front of the truck on my right flank. One of the things we're kind of laughing about is that the orcs want to taste Mutalith, and that's why this is happening. And I want to make sure that the orcs get fed. That's important to me. So you're welcome. The rubrics did shoot up, or the rubric, the aspiring sorcerer for that one rubric squad shot up the truck with mind bullets for 3 mortal wounds. Like, that's actually the best smite I've ever had. Fred's. I'm remembering why people don't take Fred. So he's got 4 or 5 abilities. It used to be it was a chart, and you could choose 1 or roll 2 in the old edition. Now he's got 4 abilities. Sorry, I chose Turbulent Discharge, which is determine the closest enemy unit within 18 and visible of this model. Roll a d6. On 2 to 4, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 5 up, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. And I went through and also used Immaterial Flare, which missed. So, yeah, that was fun. I could have used Beam of Unreality, and that might have been interesting because it wouldn't have worked that well because I would select one enemy with the wounds characteristics of 10 or more. But then again, it did have 10 wounds at the beginning, so yeah. Anyways, that would have, if it had hit on 3 to 4, it would have suffered d3 mortal wounds. On a 5 up, it would have suffered d6 mortal wounds. So, but yeah, Fred didn't do a whole lot because that's kind of the thing is with what I've been hearing on some of the Thousand Suns pages and whatnot is that, yeah, they're really cool looking and you're taking it because you're a narrative player. Fred did try to charge the truck, but he was stuck in the woods and failed. He would have had to have a charge of 11, which in a very Spinal Tap reference, I had to do it. I had to take it. So, yeah. So, yep, not a whole lot. Just basically moving everybody around and kind of shuffling the powers that be. And we're back.
Yes, we are. So I did my turn. My turn 1. I moved out a lot of stuff up my left flank towards the Mutalith towards Fred, because we're beast snaggers. We want to take down the big monster, and not only do we want to take down the big monster, we want to take down the big psychic monster, and we want to eat its flesh. So I got out with the 10 boys that were in the left flank truck, and they moved up right up on it, as did Zagwarp. He moved up, and the truck did as well. On the right, the truck that was in the center moved up the right flank to sit on the objective. Then all the squigs kind of slowly crept up the middle and hid behind the ruin in the hopes of pouncing out later. My psychic phase, I put Roar of Mork on the Zangors, which will give them -1 leadership and -2 to charge and run. Then I charged in. Well, okay, I shot. Nothing happened. Then I charged in with the boys and Zagwarp and the truck into the Mutalith in the hopes of killing it and consolidating with the orcs into the Rubric Marines. that did not happen. I did, however, steal your objective, which is nice. I put the boys put 6 wounds on the Mutileth. Zagwarp rolled. He had 6 attacks. He rolled 2 1s and no 6s. He actually explodes hits on 6s and also does 1 mortal wound for H6 to hit, but he didn't get any. So that is me. So
the Mutilith did interrupt though, and put 3 damage on you.
Yeah,
but...
you put 3 wounds on me. He does have the I spent 2 CP so that I could use Tough as Old Squig Hide so that you couldn't
that's a good idea.
so you can't wound me on 1s, 2s, or 3s. Even though I am running these guys as snake bites, their normal ability is you can't wound on anything but a 4+, except for strength 8 and higher, in which case you had a +1 with strength on your attack, so I had to use the stratagem instead, and it did save his life, I think.
Because I think I rolled a 3 and a 2 for the other hits.
Yeah, so his feel no pain from the armor really helped, but I think that did not go as well as I hoped. But you know what? I'm glad we're going to see another turn of Fred. That's all there is to it. Yeah. So at the start of your turn, you're going to be holding just this one objective over here for 5 points. I managed to. Oh wait, are the Zangor's objectives secured?
Yeah, they're true.
So we actually have to count this out. 1, 2, 3 models from that squad. 4. Oops. 5. 6.
I'm trying if there's any other cool things that Zangors can do since they're otherwise totally useless.
You have 7 models. You have 7 models within range of the objective, and I only have 3. So you still hold that objective. So you actually score 10 points.
Cool.
And now?
And then I have to remember that Fred will regenerate D3 wounds in the command
We'll go
phase.
ahead and just roll it right now. Might as well.
Oh, well, because I'm not in tabletop.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll be right back.
And we are back.
Awesome. So your turn 2 started with Fred. He's like, I need some life.
Yeah, he did.
he regained 3 wounds, and then the Zangor decided they're gonna jump in on the fight too.
Yeah.
What else happened?
So Fred regenerated. The Zangors decided they wanted to get involved. Both the rubrics and the Exalted that were coming down the center decided to move over to the left flank. There was
get behind those ruins.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what were we laughing about? The Exalted Sorcerer is definitely going to be hiding to make sure he doesn't get shot up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What was the other thing we were laughing about? The rubrics are too good to get into a fight with
orcs.
With orcs.
Yeah, send in the Zangors. That's what they're good for.
That's pretty much it. So let's see. I did smite one of your trucks over there from the Aspiring Sorcerer. But I think that one you saved. And then the Exalted Sorcerer did some damage on that truck.
Yeah, both trucks are down to 6. They've both been damaged a little bit.
The other Rubric squad, then the other Aspiring Sorcerer went ahead and smited into some of your orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't done the Kabbalistic stuff at all in this game. Okay, I gotta do that.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not terribly worried. For your boys, swug into the Mutalith, and one of the Zangor, the Mutalith took 5 damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Zagwarp...
He's down to 6.
Yeah, so he hopped up to 11, now he's back down to 6.
Zagwarp has still failed to roll any 6s in combat.
Yeah.
But we both lost models to morale. The boys, I lost 2 boys, and you lost 2 Zangors to morale.
Yeah. Zagwarp is down to 1 wound. I was kind of hoping that Fred would explode. Because whenever he explodes on a 4-up, he deals D6, or is it D3, wounds to every unit around him.
Yeah, that should do some work.
Yeah. Well, within 6 inches, which means he also goes through and takes out the Zangors too. Well,
yeah, fair. Which is a double your pleasure, double your fun.
That's right. Plenty of Mutalith and Zangor meat on the menu tonight, boys.
Awesome. Well, I love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see what I can do in my turn too. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the shenanigans I get up to in turn 2, dude.
I'm hoping that Fred explodes. I mean,
well, me too. Clearly that's what needs to happen.
Right. And we are back.
Excellent. So I got aggressive. Aggressive and passive. Yeah, my weird boy and boys fell back from combat with the Mutalith and jumped in the truck because well, let's just be perfectly honest. They wanted to give the truck an opportunity to to do some work.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're on orders from the weird boy from the Zagwarp, who really wants to dine on your book over there.
Yeah.
That's really what he's interested in at the moment. So they got in the truck, and they're kind of wanting to get over there. The truck on the right disgorged its boys into the rubrics that are sitting on the objective near your Exalted Sorcerer. Figuring we'll get rid of all that. The truck spun around, and all the boys inside screamed ramming speed and plowed into the Mutalith. Yeah, not a whole lot happened there. Mutalith's down to 5. You're going to heal him again.
Yeah.
The Beast Snagas rolled a whole bunch of 1s and 2s against the rubrics, and I did 3 wounds total over there. It was pretty brutal. Did 1 mortal wound with the ramming speed, so
yeah.
Oof. However, I am holding 2. We have tied this objective over here on the truck. I probably should have left the boys out. That would have secured me 15. But I am up to 20. Wait, no, this is your turn. I am stupid.
What? No, that was your turn.
No, it's at this. You score at the start. So on your turn 3, you are holding 1. So you get 5. Okay, so I guess, it wasn't so bad for me. So you're at 15. I'm at 10. So that's pretty good. If I can score 10 again this turn, I'll I'll be ahead, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Oh, the Squig Hogs are over on the objective on my back flank. So
yeah.
I think things are about to get dicey for me here, Jason.
Are they? I'm about to fall asleep. Let's get through this turn.
Yeah, no, it's totally same.
Yeah, what is it now? It's almost midnight for me. Almost 1
it's
for you.
It's 1 for me, yeah.
All right, we will be back.
Welcome back. So it's actually been a week in real time.
Yeah, no kidding, because we were both falling asleep in the last one.
I've been spending all day working. Quinn went with Aunt Amy. I've been working, watching BBC World News.
Oh,
and stress eating Quinn's potty rewards. I ate a lot of M&Ms today.
These are rewards for him using the potty.
Yes, M&Ms.
Okay, just trying to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, sorry.
Gets an M&M when he goes pee-pee on the potty. Anyways, and I also replaced the front of his crib with a big boy bed piece so he can get in and out of the bed by himself.
Nice.
I almost cried.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, buddy.
It's sad, but I haven't had to tell him to get back in bed at all. He just gets it, which he's either the dumbest kid alive or the most well-behaved. I'm not sure.
We'll see when he gets to be a teenager.
Yeah, let's see.
That's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Your turn 3.
Yeah.
Fred's been a jerk.
Fred's actually doing something. What happened? All right. So Fred healed 1 point in the command phase, which he's got that. I did struggle with the concept of using a mouse. I liked your editorial there because it's not wrong. Especially in Tabletop Simulator, I can't get the dice in the roll box. The
dice rolling box. Your depth perception on the game is not great.
I don't know. It's weird. My depth perception is fine, but in this game, one thing that we kind of talked about was I didn't take an Infernal Master in this game because this is a 25-point game, and I only have so much room. And so I'm missing using the Infernal packs. It's just
right.
Yeah. And one thing that we did talk about was because this is a small army. We're at 30 power level, right?
Yeah, it's so small.
Yeah, it's hard to perform actions because if you leave a unit just hanging out and it's an HQ or something like that, you miss it immediately.
Right,
I did teleport the Exalted Sorcerer over to Fred to heal him for 3 more additional wounds using Temporal Manipulation.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah. That was good. That brought Fred back up into the top... the top wound bracket, so he can be extra horrible.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, considering he's done absolutely nothing in the 2.5-3 years I've had him and played him in games. He's died valiantly every time. But tonight or in this game, he's decided to actually do something.
It's nice to see him thriving in narrative play.
Yeah. Because in matched play, he's garbage. But I love him because I've painted him well. Actually, probably one of my favorite paint jobs. All right, let's see. The rubrics in combat with the boys, smite with a malevolent charge for 5 mortal wounds. But that was actually 6 because we both forgot one of the rules.
Yeah, they were within
9 inches of that
range?
icon?
No, not
All
faith range. Divinity range of your idol, which does +1 mortal wound when you use psychic power. So,
well, since we're going to use this book for a lot of stuff, for the next few months, I do have the Endless Spells of Zinch. One of them is a book, and I have it mostly painted.
Ooh!
In fact, I could probably paint it in. I'm looking at it now off in the distance. Probably about an hour or 2 would be done.
Yeah, you should definitely do that so we can play a game in this campaign when we're in Chicago.
Schumberg.
Schaumburg, yeah.
Schaumburg. Or as I like to call it, the the only town in Chicago with an IKEA. Yeah, I'll start making fun of IKEA anytime now. All right. Oh, we're going to lose listeners for that. But oh well. Let's see. Smile on. Okay. The unengaged rubrics are by the Mutalists shot at the Squighog riders with their infernal bolters and did kill one, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, and then later I failed morale because they're only leadership 6 because the knob is a separate unit. It's a character unit. So they failed morale because you lose one model, leadership 6, and I failed that, and I used CP reroll because F that. No thank you.
That oh man. I did not know that the
Yeah, it's pretty our leadership is so bad.
Yeah. There's not some sort of like aura range to reroll that, or
there's a war boss. There's a war boss and knob stratagem that lets you take mortal wounds instead of taking casualties.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called break-in heads, but I just use a command point reroll instead.
Yeah. Let's see. The Zangor. First of all, I don't expect Zangor to do anything except what? Die. Yeah. And so I just use them as meat shields.
That's fair.
And they did charge into the truck that was engaged with the Mutalith. Did they do any damage to that truck?
They did 2 wounds.
Did they? Well, good for them.
The truck's down to 4. Them. Yeah.
Good for them. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
Then with Fred, so Fred's got these 2. He's got this really cool weapon type. These one is Betentacled Maw, and that's just basically his tentacles.
Yeah, doing tentacle things.
Yeah, so many horrible images. We'll leave it alone. Or he could fight with his claws, which the claws he would have 5 attack space, but with the maw, with the tentacles, he would have 15 attacks. And so I can't. You have this real cool special rule where I can only wound you on 4s at the if I'm stronger than you are. So guess what? We hit you with 15 tentacles.
Might as well use the tentacles. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
well, you killed that truck and it did not explode. I put I sent the boys boosting out over to by the near the idol.
Yeah.
And on the objective, and then the weird boy, the Wur boy, Zagwarp, I put him on the other side of the ruin, but close to the truck and the Zangors.
That'll probably keep him alive a lot longer.
Yeah, using the truck to move block. Well, we'll see. He might actually burn his own brains out.
Yeah, he's down to... Is he down to 1 wound? Or 2?
He's down to 1 wound.
Okay, so yeah. All right, the other truck did hit and wound twice against Fred, so he's down to 8 wounds now. And the rubrics killed a unit of boys in combat. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, your whole left flank is almost unopposed at this point.
Yeah.
The Squighogs are there, but honestly, from a narrative perspective, I have to send them into Fred. I just have to.
Yeah.
I have no choice.
And Fred would probably eat them too.
Yeah, it's true. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to score 10 points this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be 20 to 15 in my favor. So I'm going to take a risk, and I'm actually going to resurrect a unit of boys, which is going to score. That's going to score you 5 points for this mission. So we're going to beat on the drum and summon them back from Gorka Morka's clutches.
Heavenly Embrace.
Yes. Whoops.
Sure.
Go to 20. And I'll just go ahead and give you the 5 right now. So we're 20 to 20.
All
right, let's start my turn 3.
And we are back.
Hey, Jason.
So that was a rough turn. That was a rough turn.
Boy, the Beast Snagga boys sure did come back with a vengeance, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So I'm a little my keyboard's a little messed up. So I pulled my truck out of combat. It fell back.
to give room for everybody else to do something awesome, not because they're cowards. The Squig Hognob ran up the right flank, headed towards the Rubric Marines. I don't have a lot of confidence in the one Squig Hognob's ability to kill 4 Rubric Marines, but hey, we'll see what we can do there. The Squig Hog riders go after Fred. Just skirting in front of the Zangor because they are, let's face it, they're not a giant swirly warp monster that probably tastes delicious and will empower my entire army with psychic energy, right? The remaining Beast Snagga, the 3 model Beast Snagga unit runs back and starts beating on Gorka Morka's drum in the hopes of summoning forth their dead comrades. So, then, in the psychic phase, I try to cast Squiggly Curse on the Zangor, but they don't want to become squigs this turn. I think they realized that I once again forgot to put little squig models in my bag to use for Squiggly Curse, so I think that's
okay.
I think that's why you were able to deny it so easily. Then in the shooting phase, the Zagwarp did 3 damage with the Eyes of Mork on Fred, and then the Squig Hog boys also did 2 damage to Fred. That took care of all the healing you did last turn. But it did force me to charge. It forced me to charge Fred and kill him in combat, and because of it, your Zangor are completely untouched right now.
Yeah. Fred didn't explode. I was very sad about that.
I was very excited about that because he would have killed most of my army.
Oh yeah, he
including
would
my
have.
warlord. Including my warlord.
Yeah.
The Knob on Smash a Squig has been such a trooper in all of my games.
Yeah.
Like, how are people not raving about this model? Okay, so here's the thing. He when he charges in, he's so cool. He charges in and headbutts. You roll 5 dice, and for every 4+, he does a mortal wound.
Yeah.
That alone is freaking cool. Then he has 4 attacks with his big choppa and 2 bites with the biters, which is usually all like 3s to hit. And then strength 6, 7 for the choppa, but it's usually all the same profile. And in this case, I wiped up that entire unit of rubrics on the right flank,
and the Inspiring Sorcerer too.
Yeah, and the Inspiring Sorcerer. So where I thought that you were going to hold that entire flank, no problem, all of a sudden the knob on Smash a Squig, just wiped. You're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to jump over there with your Exalted Sorcerer or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I've been kind of contemplating that this last couple of minutes.
You might want to yourself go ahead and send those stupid Zangors over to summon forth the dead unit of rubrics, but that will give me power level or victory points equal to their power level, just like summoning the boys did for you.
Yeah, I gotta think about what I'm going to do. I've got some ideas, and I have to kind of figure out what type of victory am I going for. Am I going for a moral victory, or am I going for a numbers victory?
Yeah. At the start of turn 4, you're only scoring 5 points for holding 1 objective.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on 3, so you got to do something here. You got to myrtleize something, or else I'm going to score 15 points, and you do not want any part of that.
Yeah, I'm kind of contemplating what to do. I've got some ideas. I think I've got some ideas.
Murder is a good idea.
I've been told that is sometimes frowned upon by people.
Oh, well, the Warboy Only has 1 wound left. And don't forget that the ruin is, even though you can see the knob on Smash a Squig, the ruin is providing obscuring. So you have to stand on the terrain to see me or just fly over to the other side of it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got Sorcerer's Facade. I can
just pop over.
I can pop over with just about anybody, to be honest.
Say what's up. All right,
Yeah.
cool. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to change the battery in my keyboard, and Jason's going to do his turn 4.
Now we're back.
All right. So that was an interesting turn. I think you did enough. I think you did as much as you could hope to do.
Yeah, that was all I could do.
Right.
Yeah. Losing that one squad of rubrics is going to be a little rough.
Yeah, exactly. So you teleported over to the other side of the, like, that weakened flank where the knob on Smash a Squig killed the rubrics. Yeah. And you just decimated him with Psychic and then Encandium, which is your relic staff that has a flamer profile. You did minimum damage. You did a D3 damage and rolled a 1 with your smite, which did, I mean, it still did +1 because you were near the icon.
Yeah. And then I hit it with the what was that Cabal focused? Malevolent Charge. And it still did almost nothing to him. I think what I did minimum damage completely. Like, that also has D3, rolled a 1 on that. I was like, I think that's when I put that dice across the room, right?
Yeah, and then you did, and then you set him on fire with Encandium, which was amazing.
That was fun. I enjoyed that, I'll be honest.
The rubrics failed to kill the last remaining Squig Hog, so it was up to the Zangors, who did charge in and myrtleize that last Squig Hog rider.
Yeah.
So right now, all I have left is a truck, my Weird Boy, or my War Boy, and the 2 units of Beast Snagga Boys that are kind of just standing back here holding the objective at this point. It is turn 4, and I am going to score 10 points, giving me 30. Giving me 30 to your 25. So
I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So I will go ahead, and I think I'm still going to press the attack anyways, because I'm going to let these Zangors die with glory.
Well, they actually killed a unit. So the first time out, for both the Zangors and the Mutalith, they both killed units.
Right. Which
is annoying.
Yeah, it is. I think my goal right now is going to be I'm going to try to defile your book with my Weird Boy. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get my agenda with the Weird Boy. We'll see we'll see how he does with that.
All right.
We'll be right back with my turn 4.
And we are back. Go for it.
So on my turn, I hopped into the truck with Zagwarp and drove over to your idol. They're hiding behind a ruin, hoping that you don't kill them in the and in turn 5 I can perform the action on the idol and score my agenda by defiling it. I'm going to pee on it with my orc cloaca.
Yeah, I can't go through and none of that's
that doesn't spark joy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. Hold on. It doesn't spark joy. Wow. No, it's still a medical term. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So the my resurrected beast snaggas jumped onto the Zangor and ate them.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I didn't get quite enough movement in the charge so that I could consolidate and pile in and then kill and consolidate into the objective with enough models. I only have 2 models, to your 2 objective secured models to your 3 objective secured models. So you're still holding that objective. Therefore, you score
5 points.
5 points this turn, and we are tied. If you can manage to get me to score no points this turn,
I don't know how I'm going to do that.
You will win the game. We will tie the game.
Yeah.
You would have to kill both units of Beast Snagaboys, but you can also kill them for spite, which is also a great way to win the game. Is with spite.
Yeah, I've got to figure out what I'm going to do here. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. You know, as long as the Exalted Sorcerer survives, that's always kind of a big deal, because the narrative, you know. Although I now have that one battle trait where I think that I can just re-roll if he goes out of action, which is kind of the trait I was wanting.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
That's
you could conceivably like just fly over next to the truck and hope that the truck is killed with enough psychic power that you can kill Zagwarp with your flamer.
I think that's what I'm going to do, because I kind of want Zagwarp dead more than anything else.
And then I approve 100% of that plan.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm going to do. It's going to be all sorts of fun games.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to play all of turn 5 and record at the end of turn 5.
Yep.
And then I think folks probably want to hear what we do with our experience points and stuff. So why don't we allocate our experience point? After turn 5, we'll decide who the MVP is.
Fred.
And and then we'll say what we're going to do with our Crusade forces after that, and then we'll close out the show.
All right. And we are back. We are back. We are back. I really don't know any of those show tunes, or the tunes off of what's that tune? Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest.
Be our guest. Be our guest. So we
eventful turn 5.
We had an eventful turn 5, at least on as far as you're concerned. You kind of moved up with your 5 remaining rubrics, and you jumped down with your character, and you charged into the war boy.
Yeah.
After blowing apart his vehicle and shooting him with your flamer, and he made an invuln save on one wound and a feel no pain on the other with his beast-hide mantle, and that upset you greatly. So you charged in and murdered him in combat, and you killed a bunch of boys in combat as well.
Yeah.
As I was scoring 5 points from the objective, I decided I'm just going to fall back. And these boys are they're a little intimidated by the aspiring sorcerer. So we're going to flee the battle and call it game. Good job, dude. Now, the aspiring sorcerer did do a great job.
Yeah.
And I win the game 35-30. I got one. Yay!
Yay!
I'm very excited about the fact that I got one. Yay! I still say that that Fred really held the early game very well.
Yeah.
And I was very afraid that you were gonna take it.
Honestly, I think if Fred hadn't died... Oh, hold on. If Fred had exploded, this game would have been done in turn 3. Because he would have taken out... Because he does a minimum damage. And you had a lot of stuff that was 1 wound within 6 inches of him. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So Fred might be...
That was really good. So what do you think on my side of things?
Let me think. That one, the knob on Squighog. I did not expect him to hot knife through butter those rubrics. I literally did not expect that.
Yeah, everything he does is 2 damage. He does the mortal wounds. Yeah. He's so fast. He's a cool guy, right?
Because you mentioned that people don't talk about him, and I'm wondering, is there another knob that's better?
No, I mean he's only got a 4+ armor save, but still, he's really cool.
Yeah,
I like him, so I'll put him down for his mark for greatness.
Yeah,
and he'll go up 3 more XP.
So I guess Fred gets marked for greatness. Is that it?
Yeah, Fred is definitely marked for greatness.
All right. Yeah, let me bring Fred out. Come here, Fred. There you are.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do all our experience, and we'll talk about any upgrades and any horrible things that have happened to our models.
Yeah.
Oh, we've reached level 6.
This is David Annandale, and you're listening to Masters of the Forge, where they bring the world of Warhammer 40,000 to life on your tabletop.
Welcome back, everyone. So, excellent. How did your purchases and stuff go, Jason?
So this is just basically everything that kind of went on here. I passed all of my out-of-action tests, which, I'm pretty happy about. Means I didn't have to do any weird battle scars to anybody.
Must be nice.
I'm sorry. Just so everyone knows, our bookkeeping took a bit longer just because of what's going to happen. The Exalted Sorcerer is close to the next rank. He actually pulled in a lot of stuff today.
Cool.
Let me see. I did go through and take a requisition point and put on a chaos boon on him, just because it would be good if my warlord has more cool stuff, I guess, because that's definitely the Thousand Suns way.
Absolutely.
So he now has the Aura of Illusion, so he's -1 to hit, which I think is pretty cool.
That's actually freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So he can jump far. He's got a relic. I mean, he's just kind of tough. I have one more requisition point that's free that I'm trying to decide if I want to. I don't really want to expand my force just because I'm not really interested in it. But I was thinking about giving a relic upgrade to my Infernal Master. I haven't. Let me sleep on it before I do that.
Yeah.
I need to be better at this because I started reading through the rules for the Crusade force, and I should be counting arcane points, which is how many times does everybody shoot and whatnot, and how are they working with their psychic powers. So in this game, I did score 2 points for arcane points, which I need a minimum of 10 to get anything cool.
I think it's safe to assume, because I want us to be, to actually be able to play with these rules, and so why don't we just assume you got 2 in the last 2 games also, so that we have 6.
All right, so we'll do 6. Okay, I'll write that up. But that was about it. I mean, like I said, I passed all the out-of-action tests, which if Fred had been injured, I would have had to burn a requisition point for him.
And did you give yourself the 1 requisition point for just playing the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember if you said that. All right, cool. And on my side of the game, I rolled 4 out-of-action tests.
Yeah.
I failed 4 out-of-action tests out of... Oh,
all
yeah.
Of them?
4. I actually failed every single out-of-action test. I spent both of the RP I got this session on ignoring the one on the Warboy and one on the knob on Smash a Squig. One of the trucks, I just wiped out its XP and started it over again because it only had 2 XP. I am never going to spend requisition points to resurrect it. So I just brought it back as just a no-name truck. The other truck was blooded already, and it's awesome, and it got the Angered Machine Spirit battle scar, so I just kept that. It means I can't use stratagems on it.
Okay.
I mean, I do want to be able to use ramming speed and stuff with the trucks, but to be honest, that's fine. I rolled up Tenacious Squigs as the battle trait for the knob, which means it gets +2 inches of movement.
Ooh,
So that's pretty cool. I think that puts him at 12 inches movement or something.
that is one tenacious
I-
squig.
I think, which is really fast.
Yeah.
it makes that squig 12 inches. The knob on Smash the Squig a 12-inch move, which is really fast. And Hogsnick, who is the sergeant of Hogsnick's boys,
Yeah.
the Beast Snagga boys.
Oh, yeah.
I gave him a weapon upgrade. So his Snagga Claw I rolled up razor edged, so it is a -3 AP instead of a -2. Now against you, that's not a big deal because most of your stuff has an invuln save anyways.
Yeah.
But hey, it's cool. It'll be cool against other people.
Yeah.
It's fun to have a super cool weapon. I might paint it up separate, special. And that is it. I am sitting with 1 requisition point. I want to keep on. I might go ahead and spend it on power level because I want to be able to play this at like 100 power level if I want to. If we want to have a big game.
Oh yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be playing at 50 for a while, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm
30 was kind of butt. I want to do 50 next time, I think.
Yeah, I think my total power level is 65.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did burn 3 requisition points to bring up that 15. So yeah.
Right. So what do you think, dude? So we did kill we did bring down the Fred the Mutalith Vortex Beast, but I don't think I'm not sure we can claim that we ate it because we fell back from combat. I think we kind of ran away a little bit, but the squigs certainly took a bite, and
definitely.
some of these boys probably sliced off some of the meat. So we're gonna have some steaks. Your sorcerer survived.
Yeah.
As did some rubrics. You're feeling pretty. I think you're feeling pretty good. So for the next game, do you have any thoughts on the kind of game you want to play? Did you want to,
like bounce up to what's the next level?
Bounce back up to 50, certainly.
Yeah, we could probably. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Where's that book? Oh, it's on my foot.
Right.
It fell like a couple of minutes ago, and I just left it there. All right.
There's an incursion mission where the defender has 5 idols.
Oh wow! Okay.
And the attacker has none. It's called a fanatical rampage.
Yeah, that's the first one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Idols have a divinity range of 3 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. Burn the idol? All right, I don't know, man. I think Billy Idol's not going to be happy about that. And that was a bad one, and I apologize. That one was bad.
I don't know. This sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Having
I was
5
thinking about
idols on the battlefield.
I was thinking about using a requisition point to purchase the Paragon keyword.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea for your priest.
Yeah, I mean, things don't have any priests, though, because that's thousands.
Well,
that has been, I think, something that we will probably talk about in the next mission about the Vigilus alone. And
yeah.
Not the next mission, the next episode. Good. It's that time of night where I'm mixing up words again. All right.
In this one, the defender is trying to stop the attacker from burning idols.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure who would be the attacker and who would be the defender in reality.
Yeah.
Like the whole point is like you're here trying to figure out why the orcs are so psychically powerful.
Yes, this may not actually work for us.
Well, I think it would make it. I think I would be the defender. I think in this case,
the defender.
But you're having such a hard time performing actions. Is the thing.
Yeah.
How many units of Zangors do you have?
1 unit of Zangors, 2 units of rubrics. No, wait, hold on. No, I have 2 units of Zangors. Yeah.
So maybe the Zangors can be the ones pooping on my relics this time.
Well, that sounds fun.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
We'll do that.
Next time we'll play Fanatical Rampage, and Zangors will be pooping on my relics.
Wait a minute. Next time that we would probably record
is
we will
March.
actually be in Chicago.
We'll be in Chicago. Oh, so we'll play this game in Chicago.
Yeah, because we're going to Adepticon as long as, Chicago doesn't get wiped off the map by COVID.
Or Russia. But until then,
play the game the way you want to.
We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge.
And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
If you'd like to engage with us directly, you can always join our Discord server.
To do so, or if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor,
contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersoftheforge. Thanks.
The music used in this podcast was made by Parad of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission. This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.